Hello, dear faculty members and students. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on or before time for the knowledge session on Project Design Phase Part 2. As part of Professional Readiness for Innovation, Employability, and Entrepreneurship under Non Mudalwan scheme. We will wait for a couple of minutes for all other participants to join. Thank you. Once again, I welcome you all for the knowledge session on Project Design Phase 2 as a part of Professional Readiness for Innovation, Employability and Entrepreneurship under Non Mudalwan scheme. Mr. Shivam will be the host for the day. Now, I request Mr. Shivam to address the participants and to give insights on the platform, way to access the recordings from the platform and platform related things. So, over to you, Shivam.
Yeah, thank you, Kirti. And very good morning to all of you. Hope I'm audible. Can you please give me the quick confirmation? Yes, Kirti, can you please give me the quick confirmation? Hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, Shivam, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kirti. So, very good morning to all of you, dear students and faculties. Welcome you all on NALUS session, Project Design Phase Part 2 for Non-Modal Professional Readiness for Innovation, Employability and Entrepreneurship. So, dear students and faculties, today we are going to be discuss about Project Design Phase Part 2. So before that, I'll give you the overview regarding the platform, how students have to log in into the platform, and then after where they have to navigate to submit the files into Git repository, how to access the recordings, and how to access the assignments. So I'll show you how to log in into the platform, and then after what are the different menus that are present in our platform. And based on that, you have to navigate to access the chat with mentor option, access the resources, to access the guided projects and all. So I'm going to share my screen. And once after that, I want a quick confirmation. So just give me a minute. I'm sharing my screen. So hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can you please give me the quick confirmation
Yes, Shivam.
once? Yeah. Thanks, Kirti. So dear students, for login into the platform, you first of all, you have to be visit into your college microsite. Once after that, you redirect into your college microsite. You have to log in as a student. On that, you have to give your credentials, your username and password. After that, click onto the checkbox. Once you click onto the checkbox, click onto this login button to log in into the platform. Once you click on login, you redirect to the dashboard page of your student login, in which you get an information related to your profile such as register number, email, mobile number, date of birth and other details as well. In the left hand side, you can see multiple menus are there. You have to navigate all the menus one by one. Today we are going to see first like dashboard, projects, support menu, training calendar menu, assignment and ask me anything session. So dear students, once after you log in successfully into the platform, click onto dashboard to access the recordings of previous knowledge sessions, GitHub and student journey. So from left hand side, you have to click onto this dashboard menu. Once you click onto dashboard menu, here you can see you have 4 different videos that are available in dashboard. First one is student onboarding and procedure to access the resources. So those who are not familiar, please go through this video to understand about how to access the resources that are available under projects menu. We also uploaded the video for knowledge session, ideation phase and GitHub. In that, please make sure you read this note. So you have to be ignore the GitHub folder structure in this video because we revised and it's clearly explained in the next video, which video we explain about the GitHub. So we also upload that video. So I request you all to please refer this video to understand the project folder structure you have to follow to submit your files into the Git repository. You also understand how to upload the files into GitHub. What is the structure you have to follow? In which particular folder, what are the files you have to upload? So make sure you watch this video to understand the GitHub collaboration procedure, how to collaborate into the Git repository, how to accept the invitation, and after that, create folders and upload the files into the Git repository. So please make sure to watch this video to understand how to collaborate into the Git repository. Once after you understand, then after, I hope you all submitted those who already collaborated into the Git repository, I hope you all submitted your ideation phase files into the Git repository. And also, today is the last date for project design part 1. I hope you all completed. If not, by end of the day, I request everyone to please upload your files into the Git repository for project design phase 1 and submit your files into the Git repo. If you missed any part or if you not understand, then I request you all to please refer this video to understand more about project templates and project design phase. Today is the last date to submit your project design phase 1. So I request you all to please refer this video and complete your task and submit into the Git repository. So this is how like you access the videos from dashboard regarding related to student onboarding, knowledge session, and GitHub related video. After that, dear students, you have to access your guided project workspace or chat with mentor option, how to communicate with the industry mentor. So we have another menu, projects menu. If you click on that, you redirect onto this page. Here, you can see your project title, your status is active, and 2 different buttons. One is for access the resources. Another one is to chat with mentor option to communicate with the industry mentor. So before move forward on to access resources, first of all, you need to understand chat with mentor option. So dear participant, if you want to communicate with the industry mentors related to any queries, if you are facing any difficulties related to project building or GitHub related issues, if you are facing, or any other issue if you are facing while building the project, you can communicate with your industry mentor using chat with mentor option. So please click on to chat with mentor option. Once you click on that, you enter in your project chat channel, from where you can see your project title, your project group name, and your mentor's name to communicate with your industry mentor. Just simply write down your query and send it into the project chat channel. Industry mentor will help you and resolve your issues. So I request you all to please use chat with mentor option to communicate with your industry mentor and post your queries. Industry mentor will help you and resolve your queries as soon as possible. You can also see the previous messages in this RC channel or project chat channel. You can see the thread if you post any query, and then after you can then after industry mentor give you the reply, then you have to check the thread. Just simply click onto this reply button to check the thread, and based on that you will get the answers. And if you want to send any attachment to your industry mentor, then simply use this plus icon. If you click onto this plus icon, once you click on that, you have an option called computer. Simply click on computer and select your attachment and send it into the project chat channel. So your industry mentor will check, and based on that, they will give you the answer and resolve your query. So this is how you have to use the project chat channel to communicate with the industry mentor and resolve all your queries. Now come back to the projects menu once again. Here we have another button, that is access resources. If you click on that access resources, you'll be in this page where we have 4 different tabs. One is for instructions. So I request you all to please refer all the instructions. Step by step, you have to complete your project-based experiential learning and submit the project into the Git repository. We have another tabs. One is like courses. So dear students, you must have to be click onto this start learning and enroll for these 2 courses. It is mandatory for all. So I request you all to please enroll for these 2 courses. It is mandatory. So just simply click on to start learning. Once you click on start learning, then you have to give first time you have to give your credentials and click on login. Once you click on login, it's first time. Then after you have to be enrolled. If you are first time visit onto this page for tnsdc.skillsnetwork.site. Then you have to enroll for the courses. Once after you enroll for the courses, then after you can see the same view. Like you have to go to view courses to access introduction to cloud and your project. Then after we have like learning resource tab. In that we provide extra material to learn. So you can visit onto any of the topic. For example, getting started with Cognos Analytics. Simply you have to click on start learning. Once you click on start learning, you redirect to the blog from where you can understand more about what is Cognos Analytics. So based on that, based on the track you opt, you have learning resources. So I request you all to please refer that to understand more about the concepts. Then we have last step, that is guided project. Simply click on to guided project. You'll get your guided project title and green color button, go to workspace to enter into your project workspace. So simply click on to go to workspace. Once you click on that, three different tabs are there. One is to give you the overview about like guided project, another one project workspace, and again we have an option to chat with mentor. So here you can see, if you expand this guided project, you'll see the information related to the particular milestones or activities in the right hand side. So if you click on this particular project, you'll get your project description, technical architecture, and these orange color represents the milestones. Simply click on that and follow step-by-step procedure to complete your projects. So make sure you all started working onto the projects parallelly along with your project phase. Now here we have different milestones. If you click onto this plus to expand the particular milestone, then red color represents the activities which you have to complete to perform a particular task. So simply click on that, you'll get information related to the particular activities. So in such a way, you have to follow step-by-step procedure to complete your task. So for example, if you click on this data collection and extraction from database milestone, you'll get two different activities. So how to collect the data? Simply click on that particular activity. You'll get a link. Simply click on that and download the data. So based on the project and based on the technology track you opt, you have to follow all the milestones from top to bottom and complete your milestones and activities and submit into the Git repository as per the project phases. Now we enter into the project workspace. So here you can see your project title, your project team member details, industry mentor details, and faculty mentor details. In the right hand side, you can see your overall project progress, which means your team progress, and assigned task progress means whatever the task assigned by your team lead. If you move the tiles from Kanban board from backlog section to in progress section, from in progress section to review section, based on that your assigned task progress will also increase. I'll show you the Kanban board also, like how you can increase these overall project progress and your assigned task progress. If you scroll down a little bit, you have general instruction. If you click on so to expand, you'll get some information related to the project workspace. So go through these general instruction to understand more about the project workspace. Then after, if you scroll down, we have different options here. Git repository. So it's very, very important, dear students, to complete your project and submit the files into the Git repository. You must have to be collaborate. So first time, if you are going to click on to Git repo, then one prompt will come. And on that prompt, you have to provide your username. Which username? You have to go to your GitHub. And I request you to please follow the video that is present in dashboard, how to upload the files into Git repository. So for that, you have to follow that. On that video, we shown that how to collaborate into the Git repository. So then after, you have to give your username, click on to check and get collaborate. After that, you'll receive an email to accept the invitation in your registered email ID that is associated with your GitHub account. After accepting the invitation, you will be entered into the Git repository. On that, you have to submit your files under the project folder structure. So for this account already collaborated, if I click on to Git repo, you can see multiple folders are there, and under that folder, like you have to upload your files. So for example, for assignment, you have to submit the file, then you have to create a project folder structure, which we already discussed in last session, and also in GitHub video, we already discussed team lead one folder, team lead folder, team member one folder, team member two folder, team member three folder. And under that, all the team members needs to be submit their assignment along with the team lead. So individually, you have to submit the assignment. And regarding the other project phases like project design phase 1, ideation phase, project design phase 1, project design phase 2, project development phase, for that you all have to work together, and project lead will submit the files into the Git repository. So I request you all to please refer the video of GitHub from dashboard to understand more about how to submit the files into the Git repository. Then in the right hand side, you can see the assign task tab. If your team lead not assign the task, then I request you to please click on to this assign task. And after that, you redirect onto this page. These are the milestones that are present under the project details, project flow, define problem and problem understanding, data collection, data preparation. So once after team lead click onto this assign task, redirect to this page, and you have to choose the milestone, and then after the activity, after that, team lead needs to be assigned the task to the particular team member. So if you click on that blank space, you'll get your team member details, select those team members, simply click onto this right click green button. Once you click on that, here you can see we are getting successfully updated. After that, you have to be assign all the tasks to all the team members. Once after you assign all the tasks, and then after you have to click on to this proceed to workspace. Once after you click on that, one pop-up alert will come. Are you sure to proceed to workspace? Simply click on to OK and proceed to workspace. Now what happened? Once after your team lead assign the task, that particular task card needs to be moved by the team member to whom like team leader assigned the particular task. So from where they can move the task card and increase this project progress and assign task progress. So go to task and progress section tab. So this is a Kanban board. In this Kanban board here, you can see we have all the task card in backlog section. Once you start working on it, simply move the task card from backlog section to in progress section. So here you can see when I refresh, so it's increased the overall project progress and assigned task progress to 4%. In the same way, you have to do once you are working on this, then after, for example, if your other team members also start working this particular task assigned to 2 different team members, they also start working on it, then they have to move the tiles from backlog section to in progress section. Once you complete the particular task, simply move the task card from in progress section to review section. And here you can see initially it's 0. Once it moves to in progress, it's 50. And once after I move this task card from in progress to review section, now it's updated as 90%. If you try to move this task card to complete, it will not move. Why? Because industry mentor, while they evaluate your project, they will review your project first and review your task card. If you submit all your files as per the project phases, you submitted all the files, then they will move the task card from review section to complete section. So this is very, very important. Once after you complete a particular task, dear students, please move the task card from backlog to in progress if you are working. If you complete the particular task, then move the task card from in progress section to review section. So your overall project progress will also increase, and whatever the task assigned by your team lead, if you move the tiles, then your assigned task progress also increase in this case. So this is how you have to utilize this Kanban board to move your task card so that you can also track your overall project progress and complete your task. After understanding about the project workspace, if you want to communicate with your industry mentors, then again we have one more tab, chat with mentor option. So in project section, we provide the shortcut. If you enter into the project workspace, then again, if you click on to chat with mentor option, you entered into your project chat channel where you can communicate with the industry mentors. Now, where to access the recordings, how to enroll for the training. So you have training calendar menu. Simply click on to training calendar menu. Then after a few instructions are there, I request you all to please follow those instructions. Select your group. If you are from group 1, simply select group 1. If you are from group 2, select your group 2. Then after in this, we have below table. So your group details, your technology track information, session information, session 2, session 3, session 4, like that. And the date information, time slot, at which particular time you have to connect. So 9:30 to 5:30, which means you have to be join the session. For joining the session, for example, 8th May, simply register on that particular register to the particular session. So you have to give your first name, last name, and your details. Once after click on to register, you'll receive an email from Zoom to join the session in your registered email ID. Now, where to access the recordings? After that, if you want to access the recording, simply in the last column, view recording, if you click onto this eyelid view button, you'll redirect to the YouTube from where you can access the recordings. So if you stuck somewhere, if you not attended the session, or if you missed any part, so I request you all to please watch the recorded videos to complete the particular task. So this is how you can access the recordings of the sessions. Now, if you missed your assignment in the live session, then we also added one menu, assignment menu. Simply click on that and you'll get your assignment details. So right now it's assignment 1, other assignment, because yesterday only assignment 2 completed for all the groups. So we will update assignment number 2 along with the assignment link. So you just simply needs to click on to view and you redirect to the assignment. What you have to do, based on that assignment task, you have to complete and submit into the Git repository. So for accessing the assignment, simply go to assignment menu and click on to view button to access the assignment. Now, how to join the AMA session? So for joining the AMA session, we have one more menu. Simply click on to ask me anything session, select your group, read the instructions. Based on that, the date. So for example, if you want to join for 9th May, simply go to joining link, timing 6 to 7 p.m. Click on to this register button and you will redirect to the Zoom form page. Fill your details, click on to register. You'll receive an email in your registered email ID to join the AMA session. So this is how the platform you have to access. I request everyone to please complete your task. If you missed any video, then we uploaded the video in dashboard menu. I request you all to please refer these videos to understand your ideation phase, GitHub procedure, and project design phase 1. So I request you all to please complete. If you not complete your ideation phase, please watch the video, complete your ideation phase. And today is the last date for project design phase 1. So I request you all to please complete your project design phase 1 and submit your files into the Git repository under the project folder structure. So for that, I request you all to please refer this video. So that's all about the platform. So I hope one more important thing regarding the project templates, dear students. So here you can see one text is moving from please find the sample project phase template. Simply click onto this click here button. If you click on that, you redirect to your project phase templates. So from where, what you have to do? So your ideation and ideation phase is completed. If not, then please try to complete it. We provided the PDF files and doc files are there. Just simply download it, complete your task, and submit into the Git repository. So this is how you access all the templates. Simply click onto this moving text. Once you click onto this click here button, you redirect to this drive from where you can download all the templates, complete your task, and submit into the Git repository. So this is all about the platform journey. I hope you all understand. If you have any queries, I request you all to please post it into the Q&A. Now, dear participant, I'm going to hand over the session to Mr. Hari, who will explain you about the project templates and will give you the plans about the evaluation metrics and what are the files you have to submit into the project templates. So over to you, Hari. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, give me a minute. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I hope my voice is clear and my screen is visible to everyone. Can I get a quick confirmation?
Yes, Hari, you can.
Okay. Yeah, dear faculties and students, very good morning. So today in this knowledge session, we will be understanding about project-based templates and the project design phase part 2. So today's agenda is project-based templates we will be understanding in a detailed view. Then evaluation metrics we will be understanding. Then submission structure. So I request every participants to follow the submission structure. Then at last we will be going with the project design phase part 2. Now let's briefly understand about the project-based templates. So here we will be having the phases. The first phase is nothing but preparation phase. So in preparation phase, we will be dealing with the technical training and assignments and quizzes. I hope this preparation phase were like everyone were familiar with it. Why? Because currently we are going on that one, right? Then the next phase is like nothing but ideation phase. So in the second ideation phase, like we are having three templates. One is like empathy map, then brainstorming, and a defined problem statement. So these templates and all where you can find this in your dashboard, which means like after logging to your microsites, you can go to the dashboard navigation menu. So in dashboard, you will be finding a slider. One slider will be like rolling. There you will be finding a click here button. If you click that means then you will be getting the drive link. It will be redirecting to a drive. In the drive, like you will be getting the templates for all the phases. The third phase, what we will be going on with is like a project design phase part 1. So today is the last day to submit this project design phase part 1. So if you have any doubts on these phases, means already we have took session and we have uploaded in your dashboard also recorded video. So you can go to dashboard and you can watch the recorded videos. Then today what we are going to do is we will be understanding about the project design phase 2. So in this part 2 project design phase, like what we will be understanding is we will be understanding about like three templates. One is like data flow diagram and user stories. Then another one is like solution requirement and a technology stack. Then the fifth phase is nothing but project development phase. There we will be understanding about the performance testing. Then performance and final submission phase. There we will be understanding about solution performance. Then project documentation and the project demonstration. The last phase will be like professional skill metrics. So there it completely based on the attendance and time management and teamwork. So for each phases there will be a separate marks and all. Now I will show you how the drive link looks like. So give me a minute. Okay, I hope like everyone could see my browser. So if you go to your dashboard, in dashboard I said, right, you will be having a one slider will be like rolling on. There you will be finding a click here button. If you click on that means then you will be redirecting to this particular drive. Here you will be having like phases, ideation phase and the project design phase part 1 and the project design phase part 2. Then you will be having the project development phase. Now, if you go into this ideation phase, here you will be having those templates. Here you will be having the templates like based on the ideation phase, like brainstorming, then define problem statement and empathy map you will be having. I hope all the participants have already completed this. Why? Because last week, Saturday is the last day to complete this. I hope everyone have already completed this. If you have not completed means, and I request you to go to the microsites, and there you will be finding your dashboard. Under dashboard, you will be finding the recorded video for this ideation phase. So if I click on this empathy map means, then what I request is first of all, like download the templates. Then after downloading templates, edit based on your project. So like most of them, what you are doing is just downloading and uploading it on GitHub. So you should not follow in that method. This is a like demo template. You can take this template as a reference. So you have to edit this template based on your project. So here you will be getting the date and the team ID. So this team ID also based on your team ID, you have to give the team ID, and the project name also, like whatever project you have enrolled, you have to give that project name. Again, once again, I'm telling most of them what you are telling is just downloading and uploading into the GitHub. So if you are doing that means then you won't be getting marked. So what I request is you have to download and you have to edit this template. After editing the template based on your project, then only you have to upload it into GitHub. So here we have given a short description of like empathy map. And here you could find an example template also. So if you scroll down means here you will be finding an example. So we have took a use case, and based on that use case, like you will be finding an example. So I hope like everyone knows like what's the empathy map. So majorly we will be focusing, we will be thinking based on the customer perspective. So we have to think like what user sees and what user say and do, then what user hear, then after that like what user thinks and feel. So this empathy will be placed in the design thinking process. I request you to once go through this. Then once again, I'm repeating, you should not submit the templates directly. You have to edit the templates based on your project. Then only you have to submit. Not only here, the content also. So here you are finding a different use case, right? Instead of this, like based on your project, you have to uh, script based on your project and you have to create this template. Then you have to submit. Now, let me go to like brainstorming. So for brainstorming also, you will be finding the template. So here also the same thing. You have to give your team ID. Then after that, you have to give your project name. And we have given the weightage also. So for this particular template, like you will be getting the 4 marks of weightage like that. We have given the weightage also. Then here you will be finding a uh, some basic introduction of like brainstorming and idea prioritization. So here, like you will be getting the templates. Again, I'm telling, so based on your project, you have to create the template and you have to submit. So when it comes to like brainstorming, the first thing like will be like we have to define the problem statement. I hope like everyone has attended the orientation session, right? So whatever projects you have selected for that project, like we have given a detailed view. So why we are doing that project, what we, from that project, like what will be impacted in business perspective. So these things already we have given. So I request you to watch those recording and try to create this like brainstorming. So here the first thing like what you have to do is you have to define your problem statement. After defining your problem statement, then you have to go for brainstorming. So brainstorming is nothing but like your ideology. Then for example, for a team like 4 members will be there, right? So those 4 members will be having different ideologies. So based on their ideologies, like whatever for building the project, like whatever idea they are having, so those ideas you have to give it here. Then after that, like you will be getting a group idea. At last, what you have to do is you have to prioritize that idea. So, for example, if 4 idea you are having means at the same time we can't implement the 4 things, right? So there will be some weightage. So based on the weightage like that, you have prioritize and you have to create the template here. So this is like brainstorming template. Then you will be having the define problem statements template. So here also you will be finding an demo template. Again, what I'm requesting is don't submit as it is. You have to edit based on your project and you have to submit. So the same thing here also you could find some short description of this particular template, and we have given the example. So based on this example, like you have to create the script. Okay, this is the ideation phase. Now, if you go means, then you will be having the second page like project design page part 1. So in this project design page part 1, like you will be having two template. One is like proposal solution template and another one is like solution architecture. So last week, Saturday, we have took the knowledge session, right? So on the session, like we have explained these two templates in a detailed view. And you will be finding this, which means like last week recorded session under your dashboard section. So go to the portal and go to dashboard. There you will be finding this recorded session. So here also, like if you double click on the template means, then you will be getting a short description of the template and what and all you have to do, like that here we have given. So parameters were there and then descriptions were there. So based on this, you have to write the description and you have to submit. In the same way, at last, like you will be having the solution architecture, which means on the page 1 template, design page 1 template, like you will be having solution architecture. So in solution architecture, like this one is like little bit tricky. Why? Because like based on the technology, like you have to use. So previously in ideation phase and all, you will be having an idea, like how to do the project, like your team idea you will be gathering. And here, like what you have to do is, if you want to implement that idea means, then like what and all technology you have to use. Like that, you have to frame and you have to create a solution architecture. Once again, I'm telling if you just like that, if you download this and if you submit this means, then you won't get mark for this template. You have to edit based on your project. You have to edit the templates based on your project. Now, the next page, like what you could find is project design page part 2. So today we will be understanding a detailed view of like data flow diagrams and the solution requirement and technology stacks and all. Then on next week, we will be understanding about the development phase. So here like performance testing, like based on the track. So here like we are having different tracks, right? So based on the tracks, like performance testing templates will be like differing. For artificial intelligence, it might be a different one. And for machine learning, it might be a different one. So next week session, like you will be understanding these templates. Now, okay, now let's understand about the timeline. So you guys has to understand only 2 weeks we are having. Only 2 weeks we are having. Within the 2 week, you guys has to complete your entire project. Within 2 weeks, you guys have to complete your entire project. So here you could find the date and weeks and all. So I hope like till project design phase 1, like we have completed, which means today is the last day for submitting the files. So you have to submit the files by today. Then from tomorrow, like what you have to do is you have to build the project design phase part 2. Today we will be dealing with these templates. You will be getting a better understanding of these templates, and I request every participants to start working from like even today or like tomorrow. So here you will be finding the end date. So by May 13th, you have to submit all the project design phase part 2 templates. Then after that, like what you could find is from 15th to 20, like you will be having the project development phase and performance and final submission, then professional skill matrices. So these three things will be completing on the next week knowledge session. Next week knowledge session is the last knowledge session, and 20th is the last day, guys. 20th is the last day for your project submission. Like after 20th, you can't submit your projects. So this is the timeline. I hope like everyone were clear with the timeline. One more time, I'm stressing it up. May 20th is the last day. So what I request is, if the students, if you have not started your project means main project, then I request you to start the project. I hope like you guys know how to start the project also. You can go to the microsites and you can log in. Then after that, what you have to do is you can go to the guided project navigation menu. So under guided project, like you will be having access resource. So you can click on that button. After that, like you will be getting the guided project. So click that, then you will be have whatever project you have enrolled. For that project, you will be getting a short description and like you will be getting milestones and activities. So at the start of the session, my colleague has explained, right? What you have to do is you have to follow that in a sequential order, one by one, like that you have to follow. If you follow that, then like it is easy for you to complete the project. There you will be finding every reference and like snippets and all. So you can follow that and you can complete. When you are doing that on the time, if you are facing any issue means, then feel free to reach us on Rocket Chat. So chat with mentor button will be there. So you can click on that button, then it will be automatically redirecting to the Rocket Chat. So Rocket Chat is nothing but a communication channel. So how like in a personal life, we will be using WhatsApp, Telegram and all, right? In the same way, like Rocket Chat. So there, if you are facing any issues, you can ask there for each and every project, respected mentors will be there. Mentors will be answering your queries. And when writing the code, if you are facing any issue, means then what I request is kindly take a screenshot of that error and read it on Rocket Chat. So mentor will be giving the answer for that. Okay. This is the project timeline. Once again, I'm telling only 2 weeks we are having. By 20th is the last day for project submission. So I request everyone to start working on the project. Okay, now let's understand about the evaluation metrics and like sample evaluation. So evaluation is subdivided into like two categories. One is like technical and the another one is like assessment. So assessment is nothing but like MCQ. Now let's come to like technical. So in technical, we have divided the marks based on the metrics. So what are the metrics is like problem definition and like design thinking. For that, we have given the weightage of like 10 marks. Then innovation and problem solving. For that, we have given the weightage of like 15 marks. Then after that, like implementation of project, we have given like 25 marks. And the performance of the project, we have given 10 marks. Then project demonstration and like documentation for the 10 marks. Then at last, like MCQ 30 marks. So if you sum up means, then you will be like getting a total mark of like 100. So here these marks, like not only faculty evaluator or like industry evaluator, they won't like give the mark directly. For that, we are having some structure. I will show that structure. So this is the structure. So see here under evaluation matrices you could find technical training, then assignments and quiz you could find. For that we have given score of 5. We have given the weightage of 5. So this 5 score is like subdivided into like two different weightages, which means for faculty evaluator we have given 50% of weightage, and for industry evaluator we have given 50% of weightage. Which means what mark they will be giving is like they have to give the mark like out of 2.5. And like industry evaluator also like has to give the mark like out of 2.5 for technical training, then assignments and quizzes. Then the second thing is like innovation and like problem solving, right? So innovation and problem solving, we have given the score of like 10 marks. So here faculty evaluator will get like less weightage. They will be getting like 25% of the weightage, and industry evaluator will get the 75% of weightage. Why? Because it's completely based on technical, right? So industry evaluator will be getting a little bit more weightage. Here the faculty evaluator, how they have to like give the score is, they have to give the score like out for like 2.5. Then the industry evaluators, like whatever files you are submitting and by seeing your project when they are evaluating, they will understand and they will be giving the mark like out of like 7.5. Then next, like project design using like design thinking. So you have created the templates, these things and all you have created, right? For that, the weightage will be like 10 mark. So here, the faculty evaluator will have like 25% of weightage and industry evaluator will have like 75% of weightage. So which means like previously how the mark allotment happened, the same thing here also. So faculty evaluator has to give the mark for out of like 2.5, like whatever they are giving, like they will be giving the mark. And industry evaluator, they have to give the mark for like 7.5. Then requirement analysis using like critical thinking. For that, the score is of like 10 marks. Here also that's same weightage is like segregated. 25% has given to like faculty evaluator and 75% has given to like industry evaluator. So the same mark allotment. So they have to give the mark for like whatever mark you are getting, they have to give from like in between like 0 to like 2.5. And here evaluator, which means like industry evaluator has to give for like 7.5. Then technology stack. So in your templates, like you will be having technology stack, like, so for technology stack, we had given the score of like 5. One second. Yeah, we have given the score of like 5. Yeah, we have given the score of 5. So for this weightage is like 25% for faculty evaluator and 75% for industry evaluator. So here the mark allotment will be like 1.25 and 3.75. The next one is like coding and solutioning. So for this, the weightages of like 15 score. So this score also like subdivided into like two categories, which means the weightage is going to the industry evaluator. So 25% of weightage for faculty evaluator and 75% of weightage to the industry evaluator. Here the faculty has to give mark for like 3.75 and industry evaluator has to give the mark for like 11.25. Then the solution performance. So for solution performance, like the scores of 5, faculty evaluator will be getting like 25% of weightage and industry evaluator will be getting the 75% of weightage. Here the scores will be like 1.25 and 3.75. Then the project documentation. So once after completing or like codes and all. So for building a project, like you will be using codes right based on the technology. So after completing your project, what you have to do is you have to do a documentation, like from starting to end, like what you have done, like that you have to do the documentation. So for the documentation here, the score is of like 5 marks. So here also like 25% weightage was going to like faculty evaluator and 75% of weightage is going to industry evaluator. So faculty evaluator score will be like 1.25 and industry evaluator score will be like 3.75. Then project demonstration. So for project demonstration, like I hope like you will be giving a demo video, right? So for that, the weightage will be of 5. So here the weightage is split into like equally for faculty evaluators as well as like industry evaluators, which means 50% to faculty evaluator and 50% to industry evaluator. So 2.5, 2.5. Then teamwork. So for teamwork, we have given the score of like 10. Here, the weightage is completely given to the faculty evaluator. Why? Because it's a virtual program. So industry mentors as well as like evaluators, what they could know is they could see the files on GitHub. So your students might be completing the project and they might be submitting. So industry evaluators, they could see what's their idea, how they have built like that they could see. But they can't access that how many like whether all the team members were working or not, like that they can't see. But you faculty evaluators, you are completely with the students, right? So you can easily track that. So that's why here we have given the complete 100% of weightage to faculty evaluators. So faculty evaluators score like what they have to give is they have to give the mark of like 10. And here like industry evaluator is not having any weightage. So like they won't be giving any mark. Then for time management also like we are giving score of 10. So complete weightage is going to the faculty evaluator. So same like faculty evaluator has to give the like whatever mark they are getting like out of 10 like that they have to give. Then for attendance and punctuality. So for that like we are having a score of like 10. So here the weightage is completely of like 100% to the faculty evaluator only. So they have to give the mark like based on the students, they will be giving mark like out of 10. So this is the actual weightage. Final score will be like that. Now let me show you a sample like sample scoring. So if a person is like done with the project means then what it will be is so as I said, right, 50% weightage to, which means the first thing, technical training and assignment and quizzes. So for this, the 50% of weightage will be going to the faculty evaluator and 50% will be going to industry evaluator, right? Which means out of 2.5 here, they 2.5, 2.5, here they are giving like 2 and 2. So here the formula like on technical score, how it will be working is we will be summing up these two and we will be multiplying it with 0.7. Then we will here actually what we are doing is we are doing the conversion. So we are multiplying, sorry, we are adding it and we are multiplying with 0.7. At last, we are here after conversion, we are getting a value of like 2.8. In the same way, we will be follow for these things and all remaining things. In previous slide, whatever weightage I have shown. So here you could find the sample. See, for example, let me explain one more thing. So in innovation and problem solving, here faculty evaluator has to give mark for 2.5 and industry evaluator has to give mark for like 7.5, right? Here, the faculty evaluator, what they have given is out of like 2.5, they have given 2. And out of like 7.5, here the industry evaluator has given like 4.5. Then after adding and calculating, here the technical scores will be there. After summing up, here you will be getting the values. Then assignment value also will be coming. Then what we will be doing is we will be summing up these two values. Then at last your end result will be coming here. This is the sample scoring. Now let's understand about the project deliverable structure. This is very, very important. Why? Because whenever evaluators are evaluating, they will be focusing on the structure. So in the structure, like what you could find is like in GitHub, you will be uploading, right? What I request is before uploading the files, we have already recorded a video and we have given on your dashboard. So I request you to once go to the dashboard and check that. So the first main folder, like your repository will be there, right? So here the main folder will be like assignments. One of the main folder is assignments. So under assignments, what you have to create is, so based on your team, if 4 members in a team means then 4 folder. If 5 members in a team means then 5 folder. So based on the members, you have to create the folder and you have to rename the folder with the respected names. You have to rename the folder with the respected names. So when the evaluators, when they are evaluating for entire team, there will be a single GitHub repository, right? For example, if 4 members into a team means, then for 4 members, there will be a single repository. You 4 members will be collaborated to that a single repository. So if the evaluator, when they are evaluating, if they are checking your, if they are going to the assignment means there, then they could find like 4 team members name. If they are selecting any one of the member name means that inside that folder, they could find assignment 1, assignment 2, and assignment 3. So till now, like assignment 1 and assignment 2, we have given. On next session, like we will be giving the assignment 3. So this is the assignment folder. Assignment folder has to be the main folder. And inside that, you should have some subfolder. So subfolder count is like based on your team members count. Then you have to rename that folder with your name. That is the step 1. Now let's understand about the step 2. So when it comes to step 2, you have to create another folder called project design. You have to create another folder called project design. And under this main folder, you have to create 2 subfolders. One is ideation and the another one is like project design. One is ideation and the another one is project design. So whatever template you have done in ideation phase, you have to submit that inside this ideation. You have to submit that templates inside this ideation folder. And like under project design, like 2 subfolders you have to create. One is project design phase part 1 and the other one is project design phase part 2. So whatever templates you have done based on your design, project design part 1, you have to submit that templates inside this folder, and the project design part 2, you have to submit inside this folder. What data flow diagram and all will be in project design phase 2, right? Instead of uploading into like design phase 2, you should not upload it into design phase 1. It has to be in a correct structure. That's why we are showing the structure to you. And here, like one thing you guys has to know in technical training session, like most of them were asking assignment, like everyone has to do or not, like that you are asking. See here, the first folder, which means the assignment folder, this one, this is an individual task. This is an individual task in team, everyone has to do. But the step 2 and step 3 is nothing but an team task. So your 4 members, you can combine and you can do the project and you can submit here. Then the last step. So here, if you complete the spaces means, then after that, based on the spaces and all, based on your ideology, you will be building your project, right? So after building the project, like what you will be doing is you will be having the coach. For example, let me tell for AI track. So for AI track, you will be having some coach, you will be having Python file, you will be having, and for ADS track, like you will be having some Python file. Then for DA, like you will be having some screenshots or like Cognos file. So those file and all, like what you have to do is at last you are having final deliverable, right? You have to upload those entire files into this final deliverables. So this is the step 3. So if I click on the GitHub means I could see only 3 folder. One is assignment folder and the second one is project design folder and the third one is final deliverable folder. If I go into this assignment means, then I should be able to see the team members name. If I click go into this project design folder means, then I should see like another 2 folders, subfolders, like ideation and the project design. So here, based on the paces, we have given the template. If I click on that respected folder means only that templates based on that paces should be there. You should not submit like how to say, out of, instead of this project design part 2 template, you should not submit an ideation phase. So this is the actual thing. I hope now you got a clear understanding on this. And what I request is, once go and watch the GitHub collaboration and like GitHub submission video, you will be getting a better understanding. Where you could find that video is like you can go to your dashboard. Under dashboard, like you will be finding the recorded video. So you can watch that recorded video. Okay, now we will understand about the project design part 2. So I request my colleague Srikanth to overtake. Yeah, over to you, Srikanth.
Yeah, thank you, Hari. Thank you for the valuable information. Yeah,
Yeah,
participants, please give me the confirmation whether my screen is visible or not.
Yeah, it's
Can I
visible.
get a yeah, thank you for the confirmation. So yeah, I hope till now everything is clear, right? So whatever my colleague Hari has explained about the project timeline, then what procedure you need to follow for uploading the files into the Git repo, what all the templates you need to upload into the Git repo, what structure you need to follow for uploading all the files into the Git repo. I hope till here everything is clear, right? Can I get a quick response from the participants here in the Q&A window? Yeah, thank you for the confirmation. So like in the last two sessions, we have seen knowledge session related to ideation phase and project design phase, part 1. So in today's session, we'll be looking into the knowledge session related to project design, part 2. So before jumping into the session, I would like to put some of the points. So as the agenda of this today's session will be understanding what you have to do in the project design part 2, and what are the templates we have in the project design for part 2, and what actually you need to do. Like if you look into the content of this session, you'll be seeing the first thing, solution requirements, what actually the solution requirement is. So I'll be taking one use case and explaining all those things with the help of use case. So we'll be understanding about the solution requirements, what all requirements you need to gather for developing a solution. So what are the different things you need to consider? So we'll be understanding all those things in the solution requirement part. So once we are done with the solution requirement part, we'll be having this data flow diagram and user stories. So then we'll move into the technological stack, and after that we'll be going with Q&A. So before going into the templates or the main content related to part 2, so I just want to give one use case or example, real life example, where we can correlate all those things. So where we can correlate data flow diagram, then solution requirements, then user stories and all those things. I'll try to correlate all those things with the use case, and I'll explain that. So here the use case is, for example, you're working as a developer in an organization, or let's assume you are owning your own company, so which will develop some kind of applications or some kind of solutions to the problems that are available in the society. Now let's assume I am your client. So I'm doing a business like which will sell FMCG products. So what I want to do is I want to sell my products through the online. So as of now I'm selling my products only through offline. I want to diversify my business and I want to expand my business. I want to grow in that field. So what I will do, I want to sell my products not only to a specific area throughout the India. I want to sell my product. At that time, what I have to do, I want to like either I have to open the stores all around the country, or I should go online. So as a business person, what I will say, if I open the stores all around the country, so it will cost me more. So instead of that, what I can do, I can open an online store where I can collaborate with the delivery agents. Once I collaborate with the delivery agents, the customer will come to my website and they will order the products. So these products will be like deliver to that particular customer through delivery agencies, right? So at that time, what is happening? I'm indirectly expanding my business all over the country. So without opening new stores or new branches in different country, in different states or cities. Now I want to do that. So now I came to you and I asked you to develop an application. What kind of application? I want an application where customer can come to my application. He can search for the products. After searching for the products, he or she needs to select the product. Once they select the product, they can add that product to the cart. And once they add, they can buy that product, they can place the order. Once they place the order, they have to make the payment. So this kind of application, I want, as a client, I want this application, and you need to develop that application and give to me. So now if you want to develop such kind of application, like we have seen Amazon application, I hope everyone knows this, right? So we have Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, such kind of e-commerce websites where people will go to that website, identify different products, like if they have intention or they don't have any intention of purchasing the product, like they will go to that website, they will search for the products, they will browse different products. Once if they like that product, what they will do, they will add that into cart. If they want to purchase from the cart, they will move into buy section. So with the help of buy section, they will place the order. Now apart from that, what they will do, they will make the payment. So this kind of application I want you to develop, right? Now, so as a developer, if you want to develop such kind of application, what all the things you need to consider? What all the things need to consider? You need to keep user centric, nothing but who will use that end product. That end product will be used by the customer or nothing but the people of that country, right? So if you are keeping it as user centric, you need to think in a perspective of a user. In the last session we have seen ideation, right? So there we have seen empathize. Empathize is nothing but empathizing the user experience, right? So if this such kind of application is used by the user, what user will think about that application, what user does about this application, you will be doing in the last classes we have seen about those things, right? Now, so here what we need to do, if you want to develop an application, what all the things required for that application? So basically, like that application, let's assume you have developed and you have deployed into the real time. Now as a customer, what I will do, first of all, I need to go to that website, I need to enter the name of that particular application, then it will be taken to login page. If I am the user, what happens? I can log in into that application, but I am the new user. I don't have any account for that application. What I will do, there I need to find the register button. When I click on to register button, it has to take to some page where I need to enter the details, either the first name, last name, or personal details. All those things I will enter. When I click on register button, what happens? So you need to get a confirmation mail from that application. So you have been registered in this Amazon application, like in this XYZ application. So your account has been created. In that way, you need to get an email. After that, what user will do? He will go to the login button. He will click on sign up or login button. Then he will enter the email ID, password, and click on sign up button. After clicking on sign in button, what needs to be happen? It has to go to that dashboard of that application where he can select the products, like similar to Amazon application, right? So I'll show you a demo. I'll just give me 1 minute. So if I go to this Amazon application, you can see here, just give me 1 minute. So here, in this way it has to go. Here I have sign in button. So I need to sign in. Once I sign in, what I need to do, I can select any product, right? I can, if I want to select this product, I'll go to this particular product. After that, what I need to do, I can view all the description. You can see here, if I click onto this product, what is happening? So in this way, as a developer, you need to create. So what all the things here it is there, it should have the description of the product. Then what next customer will do? He will go to click on add to cart button or buy now button. If he clicks on add to cart, it has to add it into the cart. If he clicks on buy now button, so it has to go to a page where he can enter the delivery address. Once he enter the delivery address, what happens? It has to go to next page where he can make the payment, right? Once the payment is done, what you need to do as a customer, if I go to an application and select the product and make the payment, I need to get a confirmation mail. What confirmation mail? You have purchased some kind of product from this application and your order has been placed and your delivery date will be this thing, right? It should be display such kind of things. Now what we are doing here, from the starting to ending, from the interaction of the customer with the web page to delivery of the product to the customer. So what all the things we need for developing a application, how the customer will feel, how the customer will move into this application, all those things we need to understand. So to understand that, I have given you this use case. I hope the use case is clear, right? Can I get a quick response in the chat window? So am I clear with this use case? Can I get a quick response? So am I clear with this use case? So thank you for the confirmation. Now, basing this use case, we will be understanding the template. So we have seen the first template is solution requirement. So what all requirements we need for developing this kind of application we'll be understanding. Then we'll move into data flow diagram. So how the data is moving from inception to end of the product, like so you are going into the register button, then login button, then viewing the products, selecting the products, then placing order. Indirectly, what is happening? You are inputting some data, right? Yes or no? You are inputting some data to that application and the data is moving in each and every step. So once the data is moved, some process is happening. So at the end, you will get output, right? So you will get an confirmation mail regarding the placing of order and you will get the product. So this how the data moves in an application, will understand that. Then we'll understand for developing any kind of application what we need some technology. Without the technology we cannot develop anything, right? So in the same way, just understand this is one of the use case for developing such kind of application. We'll understand, we'll be understanding, okay, for developing these things we need this technology, for storing these kind of thing we'll be needing this technology. So we'll be understanding those things. So now I'll move into the first thing, solution requirements. Now, for developing this application, what requirement analysis you need to do? So here, whatever the process we have seen, so a web application or a mobile application or whatever it may be. So from the point of business, from the point of owner of that particular application, what all you need to consider from the point of customer. So at the end, that application will be used by the customer. From the point of customer, what all requirements you need to consider. So that will understand. So here the first thing is functional requirements. So functional requirements and non-functional requirements is nothing but you have that Amazon application. So how this Amazon application is working. So to make the application to work, what all the things we need to consider, all those things will be understanding under the functional requirements. So when coming to the non-functional requirements, so how customer will feel when they use that application. So what criteria customer will take while evaluating any application. For example, I'll ask one question to everyone. So how many of you use internet? I hope everyone will use internet, right? So here I'll give you two options. You have Google Chrome, then you have Internet Explorer. So who all will use Internet Explorer and who all will use Google Chrome? Can I get a quick response here in the chat? So when compared to the Google Chrome and Internet Explorer, most of the people will use Google Chrome, right? So most of the people will use Google Chrome when compared to the Internet Explorer. Why? What could be the reason? Why? What could be the reason? So when you use Internet Explorer, you may face some difficulties. The loading time may be more. So you may not able to navigate to different pages very quickly, right? So here what is happening? Customer is able to show some kind of interest towards Google Chrome when compared to Internet Explorer. Here, when coming to this solution requirements, so customer usability, whether customer is feeling very uh, handy to use this application or not, whether he will feel secure or not, all those things will comes under non-functional requirements. So we'll understand each and every step. Functional requirements, like we'll base the Amazon application and try to understand what could be the functional requirements. So here you can see, so functional requirements define what a product must do, what its features and functions. Just now I have given one example, right? The same Amazon application. So what does this Amazon application, whatever the web application the client is requesting you to develop, what does that application needs to do? It has to perform some specific action, right? For example, I am having mobile. What is the functionality of mobile? I'm using mobile. What is the functionality of mobile? So I'll be using this mobile for doing calls or like for browsing internet. It means every product we create that will have some specific functionality, right? In the same way, whatever the client asked you to develop an application, that application must have specific functionality. So in the functional requirements, we will be understanding what is the specific task done by that particular application. Then what are the features? For example, if you look into the Amazon application, what features you can see? You can go to the Amazon application, you can sort the products according to the category. Once you sort according to the category, you can add, like you can sort the products according to the price range, according to the latest updates. All those are features, right? So these features need to be there in the functional requirements and functions. So just now we have discussed what is the task or purpose of that application. So the product features or functions that developer must implement on that product, on that application. Why he needs to do? As a user, I have some requirements. As a user of an Amazon application, I have some requirements, right? The same thing we have seen example of Google Chrome and Internet Explorer. Now you told you will be using Google Chrome instead of Internet Explorer. Why? Because the features of the Google Chrome is more when compared to the Internet Explorer, and the usability of usability and flexibility and reliability of that in Google Chrome is far better when compared to Internet Explorer, right? So here user is expecting something from the seller or the product or maybe the service. If user is able to get those requirements, ultimately that user will be going to that particular application. Now as a developer, you need to implement such kind of user centric needs, user centric wants to that application to achieve the customers, right? So for example, here one more point was there. The system needs to send a confirmation email when a user created account. Just now I have discussed, right? So what is the first thing? When the application is developed, this application will be used by the user. So when the user, I'm a new customer or a new person to that application. So what I will do, I'll go to that application. There I'll find a register button. When I click on register button, it has to open a new page where I can enter the details. Once I enter the details, I will click on register. When I click on register button, I need to get a confirmation mail that your account has created, right? So this is one of the functional requirement, right? So here, because of this registration and getting a confirmation mail, one activity is being done in the application, right? So this is one of the functional requirement. Now, if you see into the second thing, we have a second example also. After going to the products, you select one product. Then after that, what you will do, you will put them into the cart. Then you want to purchase that product. What you will do, you will click on buy button. After clicking on buy button, you will enter the delivery address. After that, what you will do, you will go for the payment process, right? When you click on to the payment process, it will ask you to select the type of payment. For example, I am selecting UPI payment. When I click on UPI payment and after entering the UPI address in the box, I click on OK. What happens at that time? So to my email ID or to my mobile, I will get a authentication OTP, right? So I will get an approval request from this application that user is entering your personal details. If you are that user, whatever the OTP that comes to you, please enter that OTP here. So you will get some approval request, right? Once you approve that, what happens? Then whatever the amount will be there for that particular product, it will get deducted from your account, right? So this is one of the functional requirement, right? So every application, not only Amazon application, every application will have different functional requirements. If you see here in the bottom, functional requirements can be classified according to different criteria. So we have seen, so just now we have discussed, one is login criteria. So that login, if you want to register into that account, it means you have to create an account. If you want to create an account, what criteria you need to follow? Either you need to follow the registration, those things. Now, if you want to get a payment, if you want to make a payment, so what at that time, what happens? You will get an authentication OTP, right? So that is one type of criteria. So criteria levels are classified based on the usage, based on the requirement of the client. So here you can see some of the criteria. We have authentication, like just now I have told you, if you want to make payment details, or if you want to give some personal details, if you want to give the details related to the bank or something else, you will get an authentications, right? It will ask you for authentication. At that time, you will get an OTP or you will get a link. You need to click on to that link or enter the OTP and you need to approve, right? So that thing will happen. So again, authorizations level. Sometimes we will be having multi-level authorizations, right? So like you people are using IBM Cognos Analytics, right? So when you created IBM Cognos Analytics, what happens? So it will ask you for authorization, right? It will ask you to enter your email ID, or it will ask, whenever you are creating that account, it will share you OTP 2 times. First time after entering the email ID and click on send OTP, you will get an OTP, 7-digit OTP. You will enter that OTP and you will sign in. After that, whenever you want to log in into Cognos Analytics, if you keep email authentication, every time you log in, you will get an OTP, right? Here, what is happening? You are authorizing that application to log in into any system multiple times, right? So these all are safety precautions or things related to security. So then we have external interfaces. So like we'll be having transaction processing, just now I discussed. Then we'll be having reporting. So this reporting, all kind of things will be related to business perspective. So when coming to the customer perspective, we'll be having authorization, we'll be having transaction processing, then we'll be having external interfaces. So if you look into the external interfaces, when you click on payment option, instead of Amazon application, it will go to some other thing, right? So you may go into RuPay or something, Visa page where you will entering all the details, right? So they will be integrating with external interfaces or external clients to process something. So they will work collaboratively for payment. They will be working with something for delivering the products. They will be working with something, right? So we'll be having the external interfaces also. Reporting will be having from the company side, where So how many users are entering to that application, how many users are getting registered into that application, all those things will be see. Then we have some company rules and regulations, right? So every application, if you are developing any application, you need to follow some kind of rules and regulations, like what are the requirements of the client, what customer has given any rules or not. Based on the rules, what things I need to do. So client will ask you, I want the only this kind of interface, I don't want that kind of interface where it will be clumsy to the user. So such kind of rules and regulations you need to follow. So under the functional requirements. So if you look into the non-functional requirements, so we'll be going in the perspective of client. I hope, am I clear with functional requirements, right? Can I get a quick response here in the chat? Here in the Q&A, functional requirements. When you want to develop an application, what all things you need to consider while developing, while putting the functional things of that application. So we'll move into the non-functional requirements. So I have told you these non-functional requirements are not related to the system functionality. Just now, whatever the Amazon application or any application you are developing, so that application will function in different way, right? So it is not related to the functionality or the process of that application. So it is completely like how that application has to perform. Based on the performance of that application, how the user is able to experience, based on the experience of the user, whether the user will stay with that application or not. Such kind of requirements you need to understand. Here the first requirement is usability. So you have developed an Amazon application, so like any application, so whenever that user go to that website and able to register, he can able to understand that application, he can able to select the product, he can able to place the order. If user is not able to do that thing, then what is the use of that application? Nothing, right? The same way, the similar example we have seen, right? If I ask you to use Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, ultimately you will be selecting the Google Chrome, right? Because when you go with Internet Explorer, a lot of windows will get open. Because of that, you may face some complexity, right? So usability, how handy it is for the customer to use that product or to use that service, right? So we have smartphones. So now you people are using smartphones, like uh, see, you people are using smartphones, you have some knowledge related to smartphones, so that you can call, you can download some applications, right? So if you give that application to your grandfather or someone else, if you give that particular product or particular mobile to your grandfather, so will they able to use? So they don't have minimum knowledge about that, right? So at the time, what you have to do is, whatever the application you are creating, or whatever the service you are creating, or whatever the product you are developing, that should be usable by the customer. So customer should not face any difficulty in using this product. So here one example is given, right? People with no understanding of French must be able to use the product. If I am using Amazon application, so like language should not be a barrier, on any kind of thing should not be a barrier, right? Just now I have given example of mobile. So mobile can be used by anyone, it should not be a barrier to someone else who cannot use. So that is the usability of your product. Now we have keyboard, like now if you look into the keyboard which was developed some 10 years or 20 years back, so we will be having a keyboard with different things, right? Now the keyboards are modified and it was made in the usable way, right? So such kind of usability should be there. So like usability is nothing but whenever you are using that product, you should be feel comfortable with that product. This is all about the usability of the product. Then security. Now the same Amazon application or any e-commerce application is there. Now you want to make some purchase, like you want to buy a product. At the time, what you will do, you will go for the payment. So if you are not feeling secure with that application, will you enter the personal details? If you are not feeling secure with that application, will you enter the personal details, or will you enter the information related to uh, payment? If you want to make a payment, so will you able to give the card number or something else in that application? You will not do, right? Why we will not do? So when you get some trust on that application, if you feel that application is safe and secure to use, then only you will use that application. So if you are using that application and like most of the times, if it is navigating to different web pages where you will find some spam links or something else, will you use that application? You will not use, right? So whenever you are using any application, customer should feel safe and secure when using that application. Customer will enter his personal details or information related to credit card or debit card. That information, whatever the information, as a developer, I am taking from the customer, I need to secure that information. So even if I secure, if I asking the customer to enter OTP, I need to take the authorization from the customer by sending a verification mail or sending an OTP to that particular customer mobile number. So then only customer will feel, okay, this application is very secure for me, then only I can go with this application. So you need to give some access, you need to give some permissions whenever customer want to make any critical thing. So critical thing is nothing but the thing when we go for payment option or when we want to enter personal information, all those things. So this is the second thing you need to focus under the non-functional requirements. So if you go into the reliability, like just now I have told you, you have you'll go to my application. You will go to application. Once you go to application, what happens? You need to click on buy button. So when you click on buy button, it has to go to next page. If it is taking long time to load, if it is taking long time to load, what happens? Do you think, like, will you stay in that application? If I want to view any product, I'll click on to that button. It will be navigating to the next page. If it is taking lot of time for navigation to that particular page, so what do you think as a customer? What you feel as a customer? I want quick response from the participants. If it is taking longer time, or if it is whenever you open, whenever you click one button on that application, so it is showing some unwanted message or some spam message or some bugs or something else. So what you will feel as a customer? So you will, like, you will not show any interest in using that application. So because of that, what will happen? Because of that, what will happen? So ultimately the customer will uh, go out of that product or application, right? So here, when coming to the non-functional requirements, so when we are using when we speak about non-functional requirement, for example, you have mobile. So if I give you some Android mobile or some smartphone, so will you feel comfortable in using that mobile? Will you use comfortable? For example, you have Internet Explorer and Google Chrome. Which one you feel? Which one you will select? Which one you will select? Whether you will select Internet Explorer for browsing or opening anything, or will you select Google Chrome? Which one you will select? So ultimately you will be using the Google Chrome. Why means, so when you go with Internet Explorer, so you may feel sometimes, here you can see the first one is usability, right? Whenever you are using that application, the usability, I need to feel comfortable in using that application. So when I want to use that Amazon application, what I will do, I simply download that application, I will log in into application, I'll view the products. If the procedure is too long, If I want to log in, I need to get an OTP. Once I get an OTP to my mobile, if I get an OTP to my mail, after entering the OTP, I have to go to my email. I need to click on to the link. If such kind of things things are there for that application, what happens? Will you use that application? Will you use that application? Whenever customer are using the application, he should feel simple. If the usability of that application or the product is too complex, he will not use that application or the products. So under the non-functional requirement, first thing you need to understand who will be the end user of the product and whether that end user can able to use this product or not. If he is not able to use this product, in the last session we have done with empathize, right? With the help of empathy map, we will be understanding how the customer will feel about the product, how customer will think about the product, right? What customer does about the product, right? So those things we have to keep in mind, and you have to frame out the usability of this product. So then you have security. So like when you have when you want to use an Amazon application or anything, you need to feel safe and secure, because you will be entering your personal information. You will be entering your personal information, and you will be entering your payment data also, right? Whenever you want to make a purchase. Now, if you don't feel secure, just 1 minute, I'll 1 minute. Sorry. So whenever you want to purchase a product, what you will do, you will enter all your personal information. And if you want to purchase the product, what you will do, you will enter your credit card information, all those things, right? So if you think, if you feel this application is not safe for me, if you enter information, so if you feel it is not secure for me, then will you enter those details into that Amazon application or any kind of application? You will not enter, right? So whenever you are developing an application, if you are developing any project related to such kind of things, you need to understand the security in terms of customer, how customer will feel about that product, what security customer will expect from our product or service. You need to understand all those things, right? So that will be jotted under security concern, nothing but. The second point is non-functional requirements. So when coming to the reliability, I have already told you, right? So the database update process must roll back all the related updates when any update fails. So in simple terms, I have given the example, right? So whenever you want to go to any application, I want to view one particular product. If I click on to that product, it will be navigating to the next page. So after navigating to the next page, if it is taking lot of time, if it is taking lot of time, or if it is showing some kind of error, the because of some backend error, what happens, like that particular product information may be missing. So because of that, you may not able to view the image of that product. So such kind of things will be happen, right? Because of the failures. So if you find such kind of things, do you think will you again go to that application? You will not do, right? So you will not do. At that time, what happens? So whenever you want to develop an application, you need to think in the perspective of reliability. So what customer will think? So if this happens, what needs to be done? All those things will be understood. Then coming to the performance. So already the performance or reliability I have done. So like here something, the front end page will be there, like this just now I have told you, right? Whenever you want to register into application which was developed by the developer, there you will find the registration button, then you will find the login button. When you click on to the registration button, it has to go to the registration page where you will enter the details. So When you click on registration button, it should not be loaded more than 2 seconds. If it is loading more than 2 seconds or 5 seconds, what happened? uh, you will wait for at least let's say you will wait for 30 seconds. After that also, if it is taking lot of time to load, what happens? You will not show any interest in registering into that platform. What happens? Whatever the customer you want to become customer to that application, because of the performance, low performance of the application, what happens? That company or that particular application is losing me. Indirectly they are losing the customer. So when they lose the customer, what happens? Ultimately they gonna decrease the profits or decrease the revenue, right? So we have to concern about the performance of the application also. So am I clear with non-functional requirements? Then availability is the next thing. So here you can see new module development must impact the front page. Now, so as a developer, as a owner of that application, so based on the requirements, the customer is dynamic, right? So based on the customer will have different needs, different wants. So today he will be using one mobile. So tomorrow any mobile that comes into the market with more features, ultimately he will shift to that mobile, right? It means customer needs, wants, and demands are not static, they are dynamic. So when these things are in dynamic way, so what happens whenever you want to implement any new functionality to the product, so the functionality should be available onto the page. So you need to make sure that so availability of the functionalities, like whether whatever the under the functional requirements, if you are embedding any functionality, so whether it is available from the customer perspective or not, whether customer is able to view or customer will able to use that service or not. If you are integrating any new feature to that application, whether customer is able to use that feature, whether customer is able to make use of that feature, whether he is navigating, whether he is satisfied with that feature or not, you need to think. And you need to make sure that whether that feature is available to the customer or not. So then scalability. So once the feature is available, like from the customer perspective, you will be understanding those things. Then the next thing you need to consider is scalability. You have developed an application. Now when you are developing an application, you kept a limit to that application, like only like 10,000 users will register and have an account into this application. So because you are running your business successfully, your application got good name, and your application has reached all over the country, at that time what happens? Most of the people will try to come to your application, they try to register. So you have kept the limit for like say 10,000, or here you can see 2 lakhs users. So ultimately, because of demand, because of trust, more number of users will come to your application. So it will cross 2 lakhs. So whenever you keep a limit, if the limit is crossed, because of that, some crashes will happen, server will not load. So at that time, what you need to do, whatever the application you are developing, you should have a feasibility to scale that application. So if the limit is 2 lakhs, so if more users are coming, then you can scale your application to 4 lakhs. At that time, what happens? You will attract more number of customer to your application, and you can make good amount of business, right? So you need to make sure that your application should be scalable. So if you look into the functional versus non-functional requirements, so what is the if you look into the objective of the functional requirements, so how the product, so your mobile is there, your web application like Amazon application is there. So what actually we do with that Amazon application, that comes under functional requirements. How it works, like am I able to log in into the page, am I able to view the products, am I able to select the products, am I able to make the order? So those comes under non-functional requirement. That is the main objective of the non-functional requirement. So end results of these functional requirements is features, right? So we have making payment, that is one of the feature. Selecting the product, that is one of the feature. So registering into that application and creating the account, that is one of the feature, right? So end result of the functional requirement is nothing but feature. You have to satisfy that feature. Now if you look into the non-functional requirement, properties, it comes to the properties. So if you are using any feature, so whether the properties, whatever the, like whether you are able to use that feature or not, so are you satisfied with that feature or not, such kind of properties will tell you what is the end result of the non-product under the non-functional requirements. Then you have focus, it is basically user requirements. So what user wants, I want to go to that application, I want to select the product, I want to make a purchase, I want to select the product, then I have to make an order, then after that I need to make the payment. That is the requirement, right? So basically functional requirements mainly focused on requirements of the users. Then non-functional requirements, user expectations. So whenever you are using that application, you will have some expectations, right? Okay, the user interface should be of that kind, so it should have flexibility, the feasibility of this application will be good. Then so all those expectations will be right. Under the non-functional requirement, you will be focusing on user expectations. So when you want to document these non-functional and functional requirements, basically will be capturing these functional requirements in the type of use cases. So whenever I'm explaining about the template, I'll be going all those things. So when you look into the essentiality, so the functional requirements are mandatory because those are user requirements, right? Requirements always mandatory for the user. Expectations are nothing but a choice, not mandatory. So essentiality, if you look into the non-functionality requirements, these are not mandatory but desirable. So origin type, user, basically requirements are defined by the user. Based on the requirements of the user only, we will develop the application, right? So these non-functional requirements, basically they will be defined by the developers or the tech experts. So they will think what customer will feel, what are the expectations of the customer, all those things. So now once you are done with the functional requirements, the testing thing you need to do. So whether whatever feature you developed in that application, it is working fine or not, are we using any API or not, whether it is working fine in the test environment or not, all those things you will be looking. Then we will be having the types. So just now we have discussed like when you go to registration page, that is the interface related to the application. When you want to make a payment, it has to go to the external interface where you can enter the details. So if you look into the types, we'll be having the external interfaces. Then for making the payment, you will getting the authentication, then authorization levels. Then we will be having the business rules, right? So here, if you look into the types of usability, when comes under to non-functionality requirements, you will be having the reliability, usability, scalability. You will be looking about the performance of that application. So in the perspective of the customer, right? So if you list down the functional requirements, you will be seeing in this way, you will be listing down the functional requirements. Here you can see, right? You will see mobile, right? Here you have login button. When you click on to login button, so you need to enter this email ID and password and click on login button. After that, if you are not a member, then click on login, then click on register button. When you click on register button, it has to go to next page. So this is one function. So there you can enter all the details and click on register button. Once you click on register button, you will be taken to a next page where you have to get a pop-up message like thank you for the registration. So these are nothing but the functional requirements. So you can break down the function. For example, you have this Amazon application. If you look into the functionality of that application, so from registration to making purchase, that is entire functionality of that application. You can break down each and every function like registration, one functionality, then selecting the product, one functionality, then adding the products into the cart, that is one functionality, then buying the product, placing the order, then making the purchase. So each and every functionality we can break down into pieces and we can work on it. So till here, am I clear? What is functional? So when go with the solution requirements, we will be considering the functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Under the functional requirements, what we need to consider, under the non-functional, what we need to consider. Can I get a quick response from the participants? Can I get a quick response? Please give me the confirmation. Can I get a quick response? So once we are done with the functional requirements, we will be going with the data flow diagram. So what actually this data flow diagram is? So we have this Amazon application. So data flow is nothing but you will give some input to that application and you will get some output. Indirectly, you are passing some information, right? Information is nothing but data, right? So indirectly, you will go to login page, you will enter some data, your email address, your password. You are entering some data and clicking on login button. Some data is getting passed. So when you click on login button, so your email ID and password will match with the database. Whatever the accounts they have in the database, they will match with the existing database. If the email ID and password is matching, then you will be going to another page where you can find different kind of data, where you can see the products. Once you select the product, what you will do? You will click on cart button, add to cart. It means you are selecting one product and that information related to that product you are adding into the cart. It means you are moving some kind of data into the cart, right? So after the cart, what you will do? You will click on buy now button. When you click on buy now button, you will be taken to one page where you will be inputting delivery address, right? So here again, you are passing some kind of data, right? So once you pass the data, you'll go to the payment and you will enter some more data, nothing but your payment methods, whether UPI or credit card or debit card. After that, you will click on place order. So when you click on place order, what happens? You will get a confirmation mail to you, to your mobile or to your email ID that you have placed order and the delivery date will be so and so. Indirectly, the email ID and password, some kind of data you are passing into the application and you are getting some output, right? So the product which you selected and the delivery date and who will deliver that product, all those information you are selecting. It means how the data is flowing from starting to ending. That is called data flow. So when we put that information step by step in the form of visualizations or in the form of pictorial way, we call it as data flow diagram. So you can see data flow diagram is a traditional visual representation of the information flows within the system. Here, this is a customer and you will get here, you can see confirmation and delivery date is there. Now, as a customer, what you will do? So here, this is your customer. You will enter into the website. You will select the order. Once you select the order, you will place the order. And once you place the order, you will make the payment. Once you make the payment, what happens? So whatever the product that is there in the inventory of that particular application, they will pack that particular product and they will ship that product. Once they ship the product, you will get a confirmation. You can track your order, all those things. In here, what is happening? So when you input something, some process is happening in that application, some tracking is happening in that application, some flow of information is going in that application, right? So you will be putting all those in the form of flow chart. Basically, you'll be putting in the form of flow chart. So you know flow chart, right? So we used to learn those things in our computer science department where we can understand if you want to develop any project, we'll be using flow chart, right? So such kind of things we'll be using. So data flow diagram is nothing but, so this thing, how the information is passing from each and every stage, what all the process has happening. So if you look here, you will be having the different notations. So for customer, you will be having some combination of rectangle plus circle. If you look into the process order, you will be having 3 boxes. If you look into the customer database, you will be having some rectangle. Then if you look into this credit card, you will be having this company symbol, like the notation, the box. So here, when we are creating data flow diagrams, we need to concern about the notations. So for here, customer, we will be using one kind of notation. For process order, we will be using one kind of notation. Here you can see, for connecting two boxes, this box and this box, you will be using different notation, right? Arrow mark. So these all we call it as notations, guys. So in the data flow diagram, so you will be creating a template where how the data will be flowing into that application from the customer to the customer. Here, starting point is the customer, ending point is the customer. In between, all the process will be there, right? So we will be using this data flow diagram to understand. So if you look into the notations of the data flow diagram, if you want to create a data flow diagram, you need to understand what notations you need to keep. If you are keeping a customer box, so what kind of notation it should be? If you are keeping the process order, what kind of notation you need to follow? Here you can see the notations were given. If you are using an external entity is nothing but can represent a human or system or subsystem. So inside the application, we will be having systems and subsystems, right? So whenever you are using an external entity, we will be using this kind of notation. So here you can see, for this reason, people used to draw external entities on the edge of the diagram. So whenever you want to use an external entity, we will be using box kind of notation or rectangle kind of notation. So whenever you want to show any process, so payment process or order process or delivery process, such kind of process, if you want to display, at that time we will be using this kind of notation, a rectangle box with 4 boxes inside it with a round edges. So we will be using this kind of notation when you want to follow the process in this data flow diagram. Now, whenever you want to use a data store, nothing but inventory or database. Now, whenever the customer enter the details, that details has to store in the database or it should match with the database details. At that time, you need to keep the database, right? At that time, you will be using this kind of notation. Now, if you want to check the products that are present in the inventory, inventory is nothing but a repository where all the products or the services will be available, right? So if you want to give the notation for inventory, we will be using this kind of notation, right? So now if you want to go with the data flow, now you want to connect, like from user, it has to go to the registration page or login page. If it goes to login page, after that customer has to select the product. It means you are connecting different points, right? So in the data flow diagram, you will be connecting the different touch points. When you want to connect different touch points, we will be using this kind of notation. Here you can see arrow mark. So basically we call it as flow connectors. Flow connectors is used to connect one box with another box or one step with another step. So in the data flow diagram, we will be using these notations. Am I clear? Can I get a quick response? In the data flow diagram, what all you need to do? Please, can I get a quick response? So once we are done with the solution requirements, then we'll be moving into the data flow diagram. We have done with the data flow diagram. Now, here we need to understand two things. So user stories. So in the data flow diagram itself, we'll be having the user stories. What does this user story mean? Already we have done this. So we have the functionalities of the application, right? So let's understand the first functionality of the application. User can go to that application. He can click on register button. He can enter the details, and when he enter the details and click on register button, he need to get a confirmation mail. That is one user story. So here user story is nothing but whenever user wants to use that application, he has to satisfy one of the requirement, one of the need, one of the want from that application. So if you look into the example, which here you can see, this is the example from the perspective of the developer or the company. Now, as a admin, I want to add description to the products so that user can later view these descriptions and compare the products, right? Now, if I go to this application here, when I click on to any product, what you can see here, this description is there, right? Here all the details is there. Now if I want to purchase any mobile, what I will do, I'll go to this mobile, I will identify the details, I can understand these details. I'll go to another mobile, I'll scroll down, I'll find similar mobile here. What I will do, I'll go to this mobile and I'll find the details here, description of these things I can identify. So what is the user story here? Whenever you are developing an application as a admin, I can able to change the description. If I want to add the description to any product, I can add. So that is one of the user story. Now, if you look into the perspective of a customer, what is the user story? Customer can able to log in into the page, like able to register into that application. Once he register, he can get an OTP or verification mail or the confirmation mail. Here, what is the need of the user? User wants to create an account and get an access to that application, right? So that user story. So here, whenever you are developing an application, for entire application, you will be, I told you, you will be breaking that application into multiple parts, and each and every part we will be considering as one user story. So why these user stories are important? So the first thing is stories keep the focus on your user. Now, as a user, what I feel, I need to go to that application, enter the details, then get a confirmation mail. So if I am feeling comfortable with that task, then only I can do. If I am not feeling comfortable with that task, what I will do, I'll write, okay, this feature is not working fine. I'm not contented with this feature or the task. So based on that, as a company, what I can do, I can understand, okay, customer is expecting something from that application. I can change the interface of that application according to the user requirement or according to the flexibility of the user, so that user can come to my application and he can register, right? So that thing can be understood with the help of user stories. Then stories enable collaboration. Now you have entire project, right? Registration is one of the user story. Then selecting the product from the product portfolio, that is one of the user story. Then adding the product into the cart and making the payment. So these are three different things, right? So you will be defining this each and every entity as one user story. So it will tell you, so like what user feel about that thing. And whenever you are developing, you can collaborate to, like, each and every element, every entity will be developing separately. So at that time, you can understand the needs of a, see, if you are developing this application as a single entity, customer may not able to understand clearly. If you are developing each and every application or each and every feature separately, what happens? Customer will understand, okay, this feature is good in this application, this feature is good in this application. So if you are using iPhones, like iPhone will have different features when compared to other mobiles, right? So like feather touch, something else will be there. So that is one of the feature of iPhone. So in that way, different features can be understood of the, like different features can be understood, and the customer can able to experience some kind of thing with that feature. Based on that, we can collaborate with the team, we can define the goals, we can best serve the user needs. So with that, help of user stories, we can collaborate, we can keep some goals, we can meet the goals of the customer in a better way. Then story drive creative solutions. So when we create user stories, we will try to create that feature in a creative way. So customer is expecting something. So what we will do as a developer, in the last class we have done with brainstorming, right? So what we will do, okay, based on the requirements of the user, I'll go with brainstorming, and I will identify, I will generate some ideas what customer is thinking, so how to improvise the satisfaction of the customer. All those things will be brainstormed by the team, and what they will do, they will come up with creative answers, they will come up with creative solutions. When we create user stories, this thing will happen. So stories create movement. So first, for example, you have created 10 stories. So if this first story is able to achieve good success, what happens? So ultimately the motivation in the team will get increased, right? So the motivation, the satisfaction will get increased in the team. Because of that, what they will do, they will understand and try to create the next feature in a better way to improvise the customer. Because of this, the momentum will increase in the team. So small wins will create a big win, right? So that is the concept here. So why we will use user stories. Now, if you want to create a user story, in this way, we'll be creating the user story. This is the template. If you see here, you will be defining the user type. So you basically, who will be the end user? Let's understand mobile user, like whatever the application you are developing, like Amazon application kind of thing. Now if I am using that if I am developing that application for the mobile user, so what I need to do, what is the first epic? So epic is nothing but epic will have different user stories, and epic is nothing but one feature or one task. In that feature we will be having different user stories. So here we have registration epic. In this registration epic, if you go to user story 1, so as a user, I can go to that application, I can enter my email ID, password, and confirm my password. This is how I need to register, right? Once I register, here, what is the acceptance criteria? So once the customer register into that account, he can access the account or he can access his dashboard, right? So this is the acceptance criteria. If this acceptance criteria, whatever the task done by the developer, if this task is able to achieve this criteria or not, we have to check. And apart from that, we have to do the priority. So do you think registration is mandatory for an application? Yes, it is a mandatory. Without registration, the customer cannot enter into that application, right? So this is first priority, right? So this is high priority. So in the same way, user story 2. If you look into the user story 3, under the registration only, as a user, I can register for the application through Facebook or Gmail account. So if I go to application, if I want to register here, so here you can see new customer. When I click on new customer, if I scroll down here, here you can see some application. You can see sign in with Gmail account, sign in with Facebook, some kind of things you will be see, right? So here what happens is, so this is also one of the user story. But if you look into the priority, what is the priority? Low. Why? Because whenever you want to create an account in that application, the first and foremost thing is you need to create an account through entering the details. So registration through Facebook, registration through Gmail account, that is secondary option, right? So when we have the primary thing and secondary thing, so primary thing will be high priority. Primary thing can be kept as high priority. See, if the user is not having Facebook account or Gmail account, what he can do? He can directly go to this registration page. He can enter the details and he can register. But if this option is not there, will he able to register? No, right? So based on the user stories, we will identify the priority. So user story for registration, Epic, we can use multiple user stories, and you can define the priority and you can define the acceptance criteria. So once you log in, what is the user story? As you log in, I can log in into the application by entering the email ID. So here acceptance criteria, again, once he log in, he can access the dashboard, right? So it is high priority. Without login, he cannot enter into the application and view the products and select the products. So user stories and is nothing but, so in the user stories, we'll be defining the epic. Under epic, we will be having the user stories. Each and every epic will have a number of epic like user stories. So make sure that whatever the user stories you are creating for the epic, it should be valid and it should be impactful. So this is how you will create a user story. You will define the user type, then the functional requirement. User stories will be basically epics will be defined only for functional requirements. Now we can see user stories. Then what are the tasks you need to do? Acceptance criteria, then priority. So this is how you will create the user stories. Whenever you want to create a user story as a developer, you need to keep some points in mind. Like the first one is dependent. Developer should be able to implement the user stories in any sequence. Like the first user story is registration. The second user story is login page. So if they see, if I am a user, I can directly go to login button and enter the login details. If I am a new user, I can go to registration page and enter the registration details. Now, if each and every login user story, nothing but login epic as well as registration epic. These two are independent, right? So one is not dependent on another thing. So we have to make sure that whenever you are creating the user stories or epics, it should be independent. So negotiable. So whenever the main thing you need to focus is whenever you are creating a user story, whatever the priority level is very high for the user story, you have to explain that user story in a detailed way. Whenever the priority is high, so they have to do that particular task in prior to whenever compared to other user stories. At that time, you have to mention that high priority user stories in a detailed way, low priority user stories in a less detailed way. So here, the most of the times, too detailed explanation, hardly we can go with 1 or 2 lines of explanation. When you want to explain in time, in like if you don't go with explaining of the user stories in terms of paragraphs, so just try to put the user stories in a simple way. Now, whatever the user story you are creating, it should be valuable to the user. So registration login, like registration using Facebook, that is one of the user story. It will be useful for the user. So in the same way, registration to Gmail account, so that will be useful for the user. So that things you need to be focused. Then estimatable, the team can use them to plan project timelines. Each and every user story or every epic should have some timeline. If you don't have any timeline, so there is no proper scheduling of the project should be done. So it is each and every user story or the epic should be estimatable in terms of time. So that is one thing you need to keep small. So whatever the user stories you have, you keep that user stories in small. Like don't combine registration login as one user story. So break down into pieces and create put them as user story. Then only you can develop the project in a better way. Now testable, whatever the user story you created, you have to test that. Whenever you register, you have to get an OTP and verification mail, right? You need to test that user story. If it is working fine, then only you can deploy that feature into that application, right? So these all the things you need to focus whenever you want to keep a user story. Till here, am I clear? Can I get a quick response? Am I clear with user stories? Can I get a quick response? Yeah. So once we are clear with user stories, then data flow diagram, then solution requirements, the next and most important thing is technology stack. Now you are developing this kind of application, Amazon type of application. How you will develop? How you will develop? You will be leveraging any of the technology, right? So any application will be developed with the help of some kind of technology. What technology you are using? Now, if you are developing an application, so will you directly develop each and every part separately and you will integrate? No, we don't do that thing, right? Simple. If you, for example, if you want to uh, if you want to go from Hyderabad to Tamil Nadu, what you will do? You will follow certain procedure, right? What you will do? You will go to the website like IRCTC or something else, some travel agencies. You will go there. You will find out the bus or train. You will check the availability first. After checking the availability, you will select the seat. Once you select the seat, what you will do? You will make the payment and you will get the ticket. So here, for completing each and everything, you have to follow certain procedure, right? Now, using this thing, whenever you want to develop such kind of project, you need to mention the technological stack. In the technological stack, we will be using technical architecture and what technologies we will be using. Now, whatever the Amazon application you have seen just now here, so here it is having front end, right? So this front end is interacting with whom? It is interacting with the user. Now in the backend, what is happening? If I go to this application, whatever the information it is there, it is stored in that application. Whatever the information it is there, it is storing in the backend, right? So whenever I make a purchase, so I will get some confirmation mail, right? So in the same way, whenever you are developing in any application, you need to mention the technical architecture. So from the client side, what is the technical architecture? Nothing but the client server interaction we will be using. So from the client side, what is the technical architecture? From the like a backend side, what will be the architecture? So here in this application, you will be having the front end. So then you will be having the back end. Then in the back, you will be having this database. Then you will be having third-party APIs, all those things. Now for developing this project, what all the technologies you are using? In the front end, what is the things you have? In the back end, what are the things you have? Whether you have the database or not, whether you have the API or not. So you will be mentioning the technical architecture of that project, of that application. So that is called technical architecture. So here you can see technical architecture is a form of architecture that is used to design computer systems. It involves development of blueprint. So this technical architecture will indirectly give you the blueprint of the application, how the application process and what are the elements that are present in this application. So everything, the detailed view of the application will be given with the help of technical architecture. So I request all the students, so whenever you are developing a project, please follow this technical architecture. For every project, we will be having the technical architecture. So once you are done with the technical architecture, we will be having the technological stack. So what does this technological stack? Here you can see. So if you look into the Amazon application, we will be having the front end. How this front end is developed? Front end is nothing but the user interface, right? How this front end is developed? So for this front end, what all technological stack they are using, whether they are using HTML, CSS or JavaScript or XHTML or XML or PHP. So if it is a web application, what kind of technology you are using for developing the user interface? If it is a mobile application, what kind of technology using for developing the user interface? All those things will be looking. Then services. Now, if you want to deploy this application, so either you will be using the cloud services or you will be using some local deployment, all those things, right? So now you need to understand whether you using what kind of cloud services. If it is a mobile, like are you using any cloud services? What is the security concerns? What are the tools you are using? All those things you will be keeping in the services. Then you will be having the middleware. So like you will be having application modernization, then virtualization, then you will be having this, all those things, right? So under the middleware, then we have database, whatever the information you want to store from, like when a customer register into that application, that information you need to store. Where you have to store, you need to store that into the database, right? So what kind of database you are using? So whether you are using MySQL, Oracle, Hadoop, or JSON type of thing. So IBM DB2 or object storage or such kind of things you will be keeping under the database. Now we'll be telling about the operating system, like what kind of operating system you are using. So for the technological stack and technical architecture, we will be having some predefined templates. I'll be showing those predefined templates and I'll be explaining what all things you need to keep. So once that is done, you'll be keeping about the hardware and software, nothing but the system requirements, all those things. So this is all about the technological stack. So I hope, am I clear till this point? So once you understood all, what you have to keep all those things. So here in this phase, in the project design part 2, you have to submit 3 templates. One is solution requirement template. One is data flow diagram and user stories. Just now we have discussed about those things, right? Then we have technological stack template. Under the technological stack template, we will be using this architecture and stack one. So till here, am I clear? Guys, please give me the confirmation. Till here, am I clear? Please give me the confirmation. So one, can I get a quick response here in the chat? Once I get a response, I'll go to the template folder and whatever I have explained till now, the same thing will be there here. But as a student, what you have to do, you need to submit the templates, right? So what templates we have in the project design part 2 and how you can fill that templates, what all the things are mandatory for the templates, I'll be telling you. So in your portal, when you log in into your portal on the dashboard, you will be finding the scrolling. When you click onto that scrolling, you will be redirected to this page where you can find the project design templates. So here you can see, when you click onto this, you will be taken to this page where you have project design phase part 2 templates. So if you click onto this, you will be having 3 templates. One is data flow diagram. Second one is solution requirements. Third one is technological stack. Now, if you click on to data flow diagram, here you can see, just give me a minute. So if you click on to data flow diagram, this is the template. As a student, whenever you are doing with the project design part 2, so you need to focus on these 3 things. So first one is data flow diagram and user stories. So yeah, so first of all, you need to write all these templates. So I'll go with first solution requirements. So because in the slides, I have explained about the solution requirements first. When you click on to the solution requirements, you can see here. So in the solution requirements, this is the template you will find. So you need to download this template. As a team, you need to enter all those details in this template. Here you will find the date. So please, you need to enter the date when you are developing this template. You need to enter that template date. And here you have given with the team ID. So whenever you registered for the project, at that time, you got one email from IBM, right? In that email, you will be having the team ID. So you need to enter that team ID here. After that, you need to enter the project name. So you have enrolled for some project, right? If you go into your student portal, microsite, there you will be having the project. When you click onto the project, there you will find the project which you enrolled. You have to enter the name of that project. Once you enter that, what you have to do, you have to list down the functional requirements and the non-functional requirements. So here we have discussed functional requirements is nothing but the elements related to the service or the product, how the product works and what user is expecting from the product. Here, this for Amazon application, whenever I go to that Amazon application, what I have to do if I am a new user, I have to register in that account. So registration is the first functional requirement. So when I click on to register button, what I need to do, registration form has to open. So I can register through form by entering all the details, or I can register through Gmail account, or I can register to LinkedIn. So these are the subcategories, like whatever the task you are doing In the first functional requirement, you need to jot down the sub requirements of the task. Then once the registration is done, then user will get the confirmation, right? So once user click on register button, he will get a confirmation. So whether that confirmation he will get through mail or through OTP to the mobile. That is the subtask and this is the main task. In this task, these two things need to be done. After that, we have login, right? So when the user click on login button, so user needs to enter into the dashboard or enter into his account. So for that, if you want to keep an OTP for the like login also, you can keep it as authentication. So you need to jot down all the functional requirements. Once you jot down all the functional requirements, so we have seen the non-functional requirements, right? Usability. So whether the customer, whether the end user is able to use this particular product in handy or not, as he facing any problems or not, you need to write the description of the usability. Then we have seen the security concern, then we have seen the reliability, then performance, availability of the feature, then scalability of the application. So you need to write down the descriptions of these things for your application. Specifically, whatever the project you are developing, for that project, what is the usability criteria you are keeping in the point of customer perspective? What is the scalability you are keeping for that application? How many number of users you have kept as a limit? All those things you have to jot down in the solution requirement. So am I clear with the template related to solution requirement? Can I get a quick response? Am I clear with the template related to solution requirement? Can I get a quick response? So once you are done with the solution requirements, we'll be having this data flow diagram. So in the data flow diagram, we have seen how the data will flow from the user. So again, you have to enter the date, team ID and project name. Then you have to like for your project, how the data is flowing. So what are the elements you have in your project? So you need to use the notations when we discussed, right? So whatever the notations we have discussed, with the same notations, you have to create a data flow diagram here. Once you define the data flow diagram, you need to define the user stories. So just now we have discussed, right? So this is one epic, nothing but user story. So in each and every epic, we'll be having different user stories. So I request all the students to use this template, enter all the epics as well as user stories, along with the task, what you have to do, and along with the acceptance criteria and along with the priority. Apart from that, you need to enter the team member. For example, registration page is developed by your team member 1. So here, let's assume registration page is developed by Shivam. So like here, please enter your team member name. So in this way, this user story was developed by this person. So in this way, all those things, this template has to be developed by the team, and you need to convert it as PDF and upload into the project design part 2 folder. As we discussed in the last 1 hour, we have understood about the folder structure, right? So in this way, you have to upload this data flow diagram. Am I clear with the data flow diagram? Please give me the confirmation here in the chat window. Once we are done with the data flow diagram, we will be going with the technological stack. So when you click onto the technological stack, you will be having this technology stack template. So in the technology stack, you will be defining the architecture of your project, and for developing that project, what all technology you are using. So if you scroll down here, you will be having this technology architecture, like we have seen, right, in the when we are done with the presentations, how the user, what technology is using, how the flow is going, all those things. Once you are done with that, so you need to use these templates, fill this template. So for user interface, so with the help of this user interface, what user is doing, how user interacts with the application, whether it is mobile application or web application or that thing. So here you are developing the application, nothing but user interface. Like by what way you are developing this application, you will write here in the description. For developing this feature, which technology you are using, you need to jot down all the technology here. Once that is done, so here, like for developing that project, you will be writing some logic, right? So like whatever the data you are getting from the registration form, that information has to go into the database. So when user enters login credential, it has to match with the data that is present in the database. You will be writing some logic. So for that logic, you will be having multiple logics or different logics. For that logic, you are writing logic 1. So what is the use of logic? Logic 1 for a process like storing the data in the database, retrieving the data from the database, matching the data of the user with the existing database. These are logics, right? So define each and every logic and purpose of that logic, and along with that, which technology stack you will be using for developing that logic. Once that is done, so we'll be using, if you are using the database, so what type of configuration you are using, what is the data type you have, whether it is an image kind of data or numerical kind of data, such kind of things you will be using here. After that, what kind of database you are using, you will be writing here. So if you use cloud database, so what is the cloud database you is using? Like whether you are using it on cloud or on the local system or on the server, such kind of things you will be using. Based on that, which type of thing, whether if you are using IBM cloud account, so in the IBM cloud we'll be having DB2 service, then we'll be having cloud NDP, then for storing files we will be having cloud object storage. So what all the technologies you will write, so use the technology, give that technology, what technology you want for storing such like implementing feature, and why we are implementing that feature, you have to write the description, then what technology you are writing. So I request everyone to fill this form. So if you are using any external APIs, for example, if you want to fetch the data from external API, so you will be integrating your application with that API and you are fetching the data. So if you are using such kind of APIs, so what is that API? Whether it is a, for example, if I want to fetch the stocks data from like stocks website, so here stock API, then what is the purpose of that stock API, then like whether what API you are using. So if I want to fetch the weather data, so weather API, so whether it is external API or internal API, then so what is the purpose of that API, so like whether what API it is you are using. So all those information you have to keep. Then if you are using machine learning model, developing a machine learning model or AI model, or if you are developing any predictive models, if you are using any dashboard report story, so you have to fill this technology. Like if you are using machine learning model, at that time you will be using what kind of model, whether you are using regression techniques or classification technique, then you are using object detection model or YOLO, that kind of things you will be there, right? So you need to enter all the elements, all the technology involved in developing the projects. So along with the technology stack. So after that, you will be defining the application characteristics, whether it is an open source or not. So for example, if you are using that application and you are developing with the help of Python programming language, so whether it is an open source application or not, if you are using any framework, nothing but Flask framework or Django, so whether it is an open source or not, you have to define the characteristics of that application. So after developing that application, so what is the performance, whether the performance is reliable or not, to improve the performance, what technology you are using, to scale that application, what technology you are using. So all those function, all those technological stack you need to keep in this template. So you have in this technological stack template, you need to give the architecture of the tech project, as well as for developing the project, what all the things, what all the technologies, what all tools you are doing, everything you have to put in this template. So if you want to understand more about the template, here we have given some of the references. You can go through these references and understand more about the template, technology stack template. So till here, like in this project design phase, part 2, we will be having these three. So I hope these three templates are clear. Participants, please give me the confirmation. I hope these three templates are clear. Please give me the confirmation here in the chat window. If you have any doubts related to these templates or related to anything, you can ask us now. So if you are clear, just please give me the confirmation here in the Q&A. I want responses from everyone. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. We are open for Q&A. So the mic is over to you, Kirti. So participants, if you have any doubts related to the platform, related to the timeline, related to the submission of the deliverables into the Git repo, related to the templates, related to the development of the project, you can ask us now. So we are open for the Q&A now. So we'll be hosting the Q&A for 20 minutes. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Sir, can we please give short explanation about the ideation phase and project phase? Yeah. So just give me 1 minute. I'll go to that particular template and I'll explain. So here in the project design phase, we have the ideation phase. The first phase we have done knowledge session related to the last knowledge session in the last week. So if you go to the ideation, we will be having the brainstorming, then define problem statement, then empathy map. So like I request you to watch the video. Like if you log in into your student portal, left side you will be having the dashboard. When you click onto the dashboard, you will be finding the videos related to ideation phase, project design, part 1. So I request all the participants, if you have any doubts related to the ideation phase, please watch those videos. When you watch that video, you will get a clear understanding. So you have selected one project, right? So with the help of empathy map, what you are doing, you will be understanding. So if what are the problems, like the same Amazon application is there. So you will empathize the user. What is the requirement of the user? What user is expecting from us? Here you can see in the empathy map. So this particular person is the user. So what you will think and feel about that application, what you hear, what you do with that application, all those things will be defined. So indirectly, you are putting yourself in the shoes of the customer, and you feel, say, don't think in the perspective as a perspective of a developer when you are trying to create an empathy map. When you are trying to create an empathy map, think you are the end user of that particular product. And whenever you are using that particular product, what you think about that product, what you feel when you are using it about that product, what you are expecting from that product, all those things you need to jot down. Once you jot down, you need to write here. Here you can see what does he says and do with that product. So if you are using any product, you need to think in the perspective of user, and you need to jot down all the points in the product, like empathy map. So empathizing the user's needs, empathizing the user's experience, and putting all the points in the empathy template. Then we have define problem statement. Here in the define problem statement, whatever the problem you are trying to resolve from the perspective of the customer, you will write. So I am trying to identify the problem, like what problem based, you have selected your projects, right? So based on that particular project, you will be identifying the problem and you will be developing the solution for that particular problem statement. Here you can see. So A traveler, what traveler will face some problem? He wants to book a ticket from the phone. So if it is taking long time, he will get frustrated with that application. If he frustrated with that application, what happens? He will not use that application. So this is one of the problem faced by the customer, right? So to give solution to that problem statement, so what you need to do? So first, with the help of empathy map, you will understand the user experience of that application. With the help of problem statement, you will understand which problem you need to resolve, which problem is more important for the customer. So we will try to identify one or two problem statement, and you will try to resolve the problem statement. So using this template, please fill down the problem statement. So once you are done with the problem statement, we will be having this brainstorming template. So for this problem statement, you have to develop the solution, right? So if you want to develop the solution, like you can develop one solution or multiple solutions, but with the help of brainstorming, you will do individual brainstorming as well as group brainstorming. So when you do brainstorming for this problem statement, you will be getting different ideas, different solutions. Once you get different solutions, let's assume for the problem statement you want to resolve, after brainstorming, you got 10 solutions. Now, will you implement those 10 solutions? No, we won't implement those 10 solutions, right? Out of those 10 solutions, you need to identify which solution is making more impact to the customer. So that you need to identify. Then you will, once you get the 10 solutions, you will identify the similar solutions. Once you group the solutions, after that, you will identify the feasible solution, which is important, like which solution or which idea is more having more priority. So whether it is feasible in terms of technical, financial, and like other requirements, you have to check different requirements. You need to check the feasibility of the solution in the terms of technology, in the terms of finances, in the terms of availability. Once you check that, you need to check the importance of the solution, whether that solution is important for the customer or not. So based on the importance and feasibility, we will be prioritizing the idea. Once you prioritize that idea, you will implement that idea to give nothing but you will implement that solution to resolve the issue of the customer. Am I clear? So this is what about the project ideation phase. If you look into the project design phase, part 1, so here you will be having proposed solution architecture. If you click onto the proposed solution, so whatever the proposed solution you have, you will define the problem statement, and for this problem statement, what idea you have developed, and whatever the idea you have developed, so how that idea will be different from the existing ideas. What is the like uniqueness in your solution? So once you are developing the solution, is that solution is making any social impact? It means the solution should be benefit to the society. So benefit for the society and benefit for the people, that you have to think. Then you will be having the business model. It means whatever the solution you have developed, that solution should make some revenue to the organization or the company. Then only your product will sustain in the market, right? How you gonna develop revenue using that solution, you need to mention that. Then scalability of the solution, nothing but feature scope. If you want to develop this application more in depth, like if you want to expand that application, how can you show the feature scope, or what could be the scalability of this solution? You need to fill all those details related to the solution, and you need to upload this template. So once that is done, we will be having the solution architecture. So in the solution architecture, we will be having the how you are going to give the solution. So just now we have discussed about the Amazon, right? As a user, I want to order some product from the Amazon and get it like get that particular product. So how you are giving solution to that particular customer, all those architecture diagram need to be displayed here. Once that is done, you need to upload this solution architecture diagram. It means for this problem statement, how you are developing the solution, what is the process you are following, what technology you are using, everything. So basically, solution architecture diagram is a broad thing. Technical architecture is a part of solution architecture. So don't get confused. Solution architecture is a broad thing, and technical architecture is a part of solution architecture. So I hope, am I clear with these things, right? So what all the things you have to upload into the ideation phase, then project design part 2. Am I clear? Please give me the confirmation here in the chat window, guys. So yeah, so if you have any doubts, you can ask. The mic is over to you, Shivam.
Yeah, thank you very much, Srikanth. So thank you. Thanks to Mr. Hari and Mr. Srikanth to explain about the project phase templates. And Srikanth explained you all project design phase 2 and clear cut instruction like how you have to complete the project phase tasks such as data flow diagram and user stories, solution requirements, and technology stack. So I hope, dear participant, you are very clear with all the templates. If you have any doubts, then you can please post your queries into Q&A. And I request you all to please complete your task within the timeline. So I'll share my screen. Just give me a minute. So dear participant, you all have to complete these tasks. So preparation phase is going on, technical training, which means your next week will be the last technical training session. And next week also you will get assignments and quiz number 3, which you all have to complete and submit into the Git repository. Ideation phase, it's already done last week. And I hope you all completed empathy map, brainstorming idea generation, prioritization template, and define problem statement. So all the tasks related to the ideation phase, I hope you all completed and submit into the Git repository. If not, I request you all to please complete it and immediately submit into the Git repo under the project folder structure. Then project design phase part 1. Today is the last day to complete and submit your project design phase part 1. Proposed solution and solution architecture, which you have to complete and submit into the Git repository. As now, today, Srikanth explained you about project design phase part 2. So I request you all to please start working on it. We will upload this video into the dashboard as soon as possible. Please watch the recorded videos, and you have an access of those templates. So I request you all to please start working on immediately, because you have a timeline to complete your phases. So as you all seen here, April 24 to 29. So 29 last date for the ideation phase. Those who not completed, I request you all to please complete your ideation phase and submit into the Git repository. Project design phase part 1, which you all have time till 6th. So today is the last date to submit your project design phase part 1. All the templates you have to be submitted into the Git repository. Project design phase part 2, which will start from May 8th. You have to be completed by 13th. So I request you all to please watch this video. We will upload it into the portal. Under dashboard menu, you will get the recorded video of project design phase part 2. So watch that video and complete your task and submit by 13th of May. And then after, week 7 project development phase will start, which you all have to be complete by 20th. And your performance and final submission phase, where you have to submit your project also. So last week to submit all the project phase templates and your project related files, you have to be complete and submit by May 20th. So I request you all to please start building the project parallelly along with your project phase templates and start submitting the files into the Git repository. So request you all to please start building the project, complete your project phase task, and submit into the Git repository. If you face any difficulties, then we request you all to please go to chat with mentor option, ask your queries. Our industry mentors will help you and guide you to complete your project, and also guide you to complete your project phases. Request you all to please watch the videos that are present in dashboard section. Today's project design phase part 2 video we will also upload. So request you all to please watch that video and complete your task and submit into the Git repository. I request you all, because May 20th is the last date of project submission. Project submission means your entire project related files as well. So for data analytics, you have to complete your dashboard reports story and embed your dashboard report story with the BAB application. For machine learning, you have to complete your coding part. You have to complete your model building part. Then after, you have to integrate with the Flask application. In the same way, for artificial intelligence, IoT, you have to complete your complete your model building part for artificial intelligence, and then after integrate with the Flask application and submit into the Git repository. Please follow all the project phase timeline and submit your project phases: ideation phase files, project design phase part 1 files, project design phase part 2 files, project development phase files by 20th, along with your project related files. So make sure you start building the project. All the steps related to the project building also present in your project workspace. So request you all to please follow orange color milestones. Under that, we have activities. Request you all to please start building on that. Based on your ideation, based on your project design phase, you have to start building the project, and you can take the reference from the milestones and start building your project and complete and submit your files into the Git repository. I'm again telling 20th May is the last date to submit your project along with the project phase templates. So make sure you all complete. And dear faculties, I request you all to please complete all the team's project by May 20th, because it's the last date of project submission, where students have to submit their project phase files along with the project related files into the Git repository. So entire project you all have, students, entire project you have to be complete by May 20th. So make sure whatever the task assigned to you, please complete, sit together with the team, complete your task and submit into the Git repository, then move forward on to the next part, complete it and submit into the Git repository. So make sure you all complete your project project related files and templates by May 20th and submit into the Git repository. So really regarding like assignment 2 for each technology, we our trainer already explained how to do that. So I request you all to please refer the recorded session, training session video. You will get an idea how to submit and what are the tasks you have to complete in the assignments. So I hope you all participants understand. By May 20th, you have to complete your project submission. If you have any more queries, request you all to please submit your queries into the Q&A. Student, I request you all to please complete your ideation phase. If not submitted, then please submit it by today. And today is the last date for project design phase part 1 also. So request you all, if you not completed ideation phase and project design phase, please complete it and submit by today, so that you will start working on project design phase 2. And for project design phase 2, you have a timeline till 13th May, and project development phase, performance testing, and final submission of your project by May 20th. So request you all to please complete and submit your files into Git repository. If you face any difficulties, then you can ask your questions into AMA session. On daily basis, we organize AMA session, ask me anything session. Join those session, post your queries. Our mentors will help you and resolve all your queries. Post your queries into Rocket Chat channel also, your project chat channel. Our industry mentors will guide you and help you to complete your task. So I hope it's clear for all. There is no extension within the timeline you have to complete. If not completed and submitted on 29th of April, by today you have to complete your ideation phase and project design phase part 1 and submit both the phases files into the Git repository. AMA session means ask me anything session, where you can ask your queries directly to the industry mentors in the evening session. They will help you. They'll guide you to complete the certain task. If you face any difficulties related to the platform as well, you can post your queries into AMA session. So directly your queries will be resolved in AMA session. I hope it's clear till now. If you have any more queries, you can post your queries into the Q&A. So dear students, regarding your project, I request you all, once you enter into your project workspace, first of all, complete your templates. We have ideation phase completed, submit your templates file. Project design phase also completed by today and submit into the Git repository. Today, as Srikanth explained you about project design phase part 2, this video we will be uploaded in the dashboard. Watch that recorded videos, follow these templates and complete and submit into the Git repository. Make sure you follow the timeline and submit your files. And parallelly also, if you enter into your project workspace, we have some project related details. You can follow the project milestones to complete your task based on your ideation, based on your project design. You can start building the project and complete your task and submit into the Git repository. So I hope it's clear for all. Where we can find the GitHub and Rocket Chat. So student, once you log in successfully in your dashboard, you must have to be logged in. Just give me a minute. Once you log in successfully into the platform, you redirect onto this page. In the left-hand side, we have multiple menus: dashboard, project, support, training calendar, assignment, and AMA session for Ask Me Anything session. Go to your projects menu. Here we have chat with mentor option. So dear students, you have to go to this chat with mentor option to communicate with the industry mentors. So click on to this option to communicate with the industry mentor. Once you click on that, you will enter into the project chat channel where you can post your queries. Our industry mentors will help you and resolve all your queries as soon as possible. Then after, regarding Git repo option, what you have to do is, once you go to this projects menu, then after go to this access resources, enter into the access resources, click onto this button to access the resources. Once you click on that, you enter into this page where you have 4 different tabs. Go to this guided project tabs. You have to go to this guided project tabs. And then after, click onto this go to workspace button. Once you click onto this go to workspace button, you will enter into the guided project. Simply click onto project workspace. And then after, you'll get this Git repo option. If your mentor already enabled this option, then you are able to see this Git repo option. I request you all how to collaborate in Git repository. So for that, you have to go to your dashboard and request you all to please refer this video. So please refer this video. You will understand which project folder structure you have to follow and submit your files into the Git repository. So I hope it's clear for all. If you have any more queries, then I request you all to please post it into the Q&A section. Project design, at least from today to Monday, some of the students have to complete the same. Request you all to please submit the files within the timeline. If not, then I request you to please submit by today or tomorrow into the Git repository. All recording session and login portal recordings videos available in training calendar menu. If you click on that training calendar, then after you can see select your group. Based on that, you will see, if you want to watch the video for 10th April session, simply go to this view recording option, click on to this eyelid view button, and you will redirect to the YouTube, from where you can watch the video and watch the recorded session. I hope it's clear for you. Any more queries, dear students? I hope Raj Kanan sir, your query also done. Where to find GitHub and Rocket Chat? Dear students, if you have any more queries, I request you all to please post it into the Q&A. So what I have to put the files in ideation folder. So I request you all to please refer this video regarding the ideation phase. Based on that, you have to complete all these templates and based on the use case you are dealing, you have to complete your brainstorming, define the problem statement, and empathy map you have to create based on your use case, and then complete that and submit into the Git repository. How to submit the ideation phase files. So for submitting ideation phase files, once you complete it, your brainstorming, define problem statement, empathy map, then download in the PDF format and go to your project workspace. Simply go to access resources, go to guided project, go to workspace. Under project workspace, go to this Git repository option. And if you created your project folder, then what you have to do, you have to go to the specific folder. Under ideation folder, you have to submit all 3 files like this: brainstorming, idea generation, define problem statement template, and empathy map. You have to be submit into the Git repository. So this is how you have to submit your files into the Git repo. So download in the PDF format and submit your files into the Git repository. If you have any more question, you can post it into the Q&A. Can I change that? No, templates you have to follow the same templates you have to follow based on your use case you have to implement. So request you all to please refer the video from dashboard, a knowledge session ideation phase. You will get more clarity about ideation if you not completed. If you not submitted the ideation phase file, request you all to please submit it by today. Where we have to give the username in Git repo, request you, Dr. Raj sir, request you to please refer this video uploading files to GitHub. You will get more clarity about. You have to log in into the GitHub, copy the username, paste it into the GitHub prompt, and then after you have to collaborate and accept the invitation. Any more queries? Shweta, what you have to do is once you complete your task, and also in your task and progress section, if you start building the project and start working onto the project templates, just move the tiles from task and progress, from backlog to in progress if you are working, and in progress to review if you complete the particular task. So I hope it's complete for all. It's clear for all. Yes, regarding the DFD, you have to follow this template, and based on that, you have to create the DFD diagram, data flow diagram you have to create based on the user stories. So I hope it's clear for all. If you have any more queries, request you to please post it. If you don't have any queries, then we can wrap up the session. No, assignment folder you have to create based on the project folder structure, as we already discussed. You have to complete based on the project folder structure. Request you to please submit your file based on this. I hope it's visible to you. Assignment folder you have to create like this: team lead, team member 1, team member 2, team member 3, submit your assignment. Then project design folder, which contains ideation, project design part 1 and part 2, and one more folder, final deliverables, where you have to submit your final code files, your project report, and demonstration video link along with the data set you have to be submitted to the final deliverables. So I hope it's clear for all. If you have any more queries, then I request you all to please post it into the Q&A. If you do not have any queries, then we can wind up the session. So I hope it's clear for all. Can I get a quick confirmation once into the chat Q&A? I hope it's clear for all. Can I get a quick confirmation once? I uploaded the addition phase in the format that you have given, but not in Word. We have done in PowerPoint presentation. No, you have to be complete as per the template, Shweta. as per the template, you have to complete your ideation phase and other templates as well. You have to complete as per the template, convert it into PDF format and submit into the Git repository. I hope it's clear for all. We are facing your account cannot be created at this time. If such type of message you are getting, your account cannot be created at this time, I request you, first of all, change your network. Second important thing, while you are filling the form, IBM Cloud account creation form, give your first name and last name more than 4 characters. Then only your account will be created. So it's better to give your first name and last name more than 4 characters. So you will not face this difficulty. PDF format you have to be submitted. First of all, download the template. After that, perform your task, complete your task, and convert it into PDF format and submit into the Git repository. So I hope it's clear for all. All your doubts also clear. If you have any more queries, then post it into Q&A. Otherwise, you can post it into the project chat channel. Our industry mentors will help you and guide you to complete the particular task. So thank you very much to all the participants. Thank you to Hari and Shrikant for good explanation about the project templates and project design part 2. Thank you very much, dear students. If you have any more queries, then post it. So now over to you, Kirti.
Thank you, Shivam. Okay, participants, thank you for joining. I hope you have understood regarding project design phase. If you have any queries, just post it in the Rocket chat. Regarding project related queries, post it in the Rocket chat. Faculty members, if you have any queries, you also post it in the Rocket chat and WhatsApp groups. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Kirti. Yeah, now we can wind up the session, Kirti. Thank you very much, dear students. We will upload the video into the dashboard. Thank you.